From the deserts of paradise in Las Vegas, welcome to the deserts of Doha. We're at the Lusail International Circuit for the 2024 Qatar Grand Prix, our third visit to this MotoGP circuit, fast, flat and fearless. Welcome to Qatar. It's the penultimate stop on the 2024 calendar, then George Russell taking victory last time out, Max Verstappen becoming the world champion, which means it's only the Constructors' Championship we have to face here in November to December's Qatar race, and then the 8th of December rounds out the season in Abu Dhabi. Max Verstappen is world champion then, 403 points. Lando Norris still in a battle for second with Charles Leclerc. Piastri and Sainz as well over fourth position, closely followed by George Russell. Hamilton's too far back, then he joined Perez, Alonso, Hülkenberg and Tsunoda rounds out the first page on 30 points. On the second page, Pierre Gasly is on 26. This page not changing. Last time out at all. Everyone's still on the same points, with Stroll on 24, Ocon 23, Magnussen 14, Albon Ricciardo on 12, Behrman 7, Colapinto 5, Lawson on 4, and still no points for Zhou Guanyu. Logan Sargent will no longer be in the championship, and Valtteri Bottas still 23rd. In the Constructors' Championship, McLaren Ferrari battling it out with an outside shot from Red Bull. Mercedes now well cleared, just sort of in the middle. Aston Martin are battling as well, with Haas, Alpine and VCarb over who's going to finish in 5th. Williams in 9th, and still no points on the board for Sauber on 0. Let's take a look around the Lusail International Circuit here in Qatar. First used back in 2021, not modified since MotoGP started here in 2004. Get a good exit out of the last corner, a double apex before you hurtle down the start-finish straight, past the new pit complex on the right, on the left the new grandstand. It's a long run down towards turn 1, heavy on the braking zone, it sort of filters into a double. It does turn 1, flick the car in once and then correct it mid-corner. Gently back on the throttle as you come down in towards turns 2 and 3, left-hander followed by a very quick flick to the right as well before it hurtles down. That's past the first sector point, hard on the brakes around about 70 metres, flick the car in again as you get through 1, 2 and 3 consecutives at the right. Into the left past the long lap limit for MotoGP, the heaviest braking point on the track, downhill, then back on the power and watch as the car just flicks through the middle sector. Absolutely fantastic. It's difficult to overtake, but this section of the track flows beautifully together. Drivers love it as you hurtle back down the brakes, flick the car into the left, then gradually get back on the power through the fastest segment on this circuit as well. It's great on MotoGP bikes, it's great in Formula 1 cars. As you go right, and right again as well, all trying to keep that toe together. And it's so tight, that third right-hander in that complex. Flat out as you come bow into the last corner once again, down the brakes, flick the car in, gradually get back on the power, resume your normal line, open up the DRS, hurtle down the straight, and that is a lap of the Lusail International Circuit. An awesome layout and an awesome Grand Prix ahead of us. Welcome to the deserts of Qatar. It's the penultimate round of the 2024 Formula 1 World Championship, and history could be in the making. This afternoon, we could see a 26-year drought end. McLaren Mercedes stand on the precipice of being Constructors' World Champions. Ferrari are right up there as well. It's all to play for. Welcome to the Qatar Grand Prix. And it's a Qatar Grand Prix which is steeped in controversy. Once again, we have had penalties by the FIA that make absolutely no sense. Yesterday, in qualifying number 3 on build-up laps, Max Verstappen blocked George Russell in his attempt to set a fast time. Now, here's the thing. Both of them were on warm-up laps. Neither was on a push lap. George went faster through turns 12, 13 and 14 in order to build up speed for the last sector and start his lap at a high speed. Max Verstappen and also Fernando Alonso were ahead of him. Now, the steward said that George Russell could both see both of them ahead of him and he was informed on the radio. But apparently, it's not the penalty that's been given as the usual 3 places on the grid for impeding a driver on a fast lap. The penalty of 1 grid position, which has promoted George Russell to pole position and Max Verstappen to second on the grid, is because Max Verstappen was driving unnecessarily slowly and dangerously in a part of the circuit. Now, that is understandable. However, considering the precedent has now been set that a driver, even if they are both on cool-down laps, will now get grid penalties, it sets a precedent that maybe we're going to see teams in Abu Dhabi speeding up in the last sector to try and get drivers penalties, i.e. when they're coming out of the pit lane. Remember, of course, that even Max Verstappen earlier on this year got warned at Zandvoort for overtaking at the pit exit line. Did Franco Colapinto get that yesterday in the Grand Prix of the sprint? No, he did not. Rules don't apply. Rules are being manipulated and rules are being changed. Now, this precedent in the rules is set that you can have a one-place grid penalty, but it's not really in the spirit of the regulations or the rules either. So, Max Verstappen starts second on the grid for this one. George Russell inherits his second pole position in a row. So that means starting third and fourth on the grid is still the 2 McLarens. They're looking very, very strong indeed. Norris and Piastri are third and fourth. Ferrari start 5th and 7th. Leclerc 5th with Sainz in 7th. Hamilton starts in 6th in what he's very much looking forward to being his last few Grand Prix in this car of the W13. But it is hitting home that he is leaving Mercedes. Now, big news as well coming into this is that McLaren need to outscore Ferrari by just 15 points in this event today, and they are Constructors' World Champions. But it all blew up last time out in Las Vegas. Let's go back and have a word with what happened there.
Well, George, you are fresh off of your 3rd career victory. First of all, congratulations.
Thank you.
It was a great performance out there. I want to know, how did it feel? But also, what better place to celebrate than Vegas? What did you get up to?
Yeah, I mean, very surreal winning in Vegas. I feel, for me, my sort of bucket list races, of course, you know, Silverstone home race. I think everyone wants to win Monaco, and then I feel Vegas is probably in that group now. To be honest, I celebrated with the whole team on Saturday night, and that was also really nice.
We heard you over the radio say that you wanted to design a tattoo for your engineer, Marcus Dudley. And I'd love for you to draw that design. If you could think of anything, what would it be? Show us.
So I'm going to keep it a bit simple, being saying
So wait, you want him to have a face tattoo?
Baby, GR63. Okay. This can go maybe on his bottom.
This is the tattoo from Marcus's bottom.
Yeah. I feel this season's been a real tough one because it just seemed every time we had a fast car, it was, you know, the most challenging races of the year, or races where there's always chaos. You know, we saw that in Brazil, you know, in Silverstone, Montreal, but Vegas, I just felt so confident all weekend.
George Russell.
I woke up that morning and sort of said to myself, I know we're going to win today. And I didn't even feel any nerves. It was really, really strange, and something I've spoken with my psychologist about, because, you know, it felt like a weekend where it was asked to lose, but I just felt so good in myself, so good with the team, I was like, yep, today's going to be our day.
Is there anything you still want to learn from Lewis before he goes over to the team next door?
I've learned so much already from Lewis. I feel so grateful to have been his teammate for these past 3 years. What a position to be in head-to-head with the greatest of all time. Off track, you know, he's such a inspirational person. You
obviously were in the leadership role when you were at Williams. Are you really looking forward to taking that on here with Mercedes next season? With
Lewis being the more experienced of the two, I feel we've sort of been given joint responsibilities when it comes to car development, talking in the engineering meetings. Now, of course, it's slightly different with Kimi next year. For a team like Mercedes to make a decision to take on a driver who's in his rookie season in F2 and has never raced in Formula One, what does that say about his ability? Yeah, he's a super talented driver. He was always destined to be in a Mercedes. It's obviously come maybe slightly earlier than anybody would have anticipated. Do you think Kimi has the potential to put you under pressure? Yeah, for sure. I mean, if you're in a top-tier seat, if he wouldn't be putting me under pressure, I don't think Toto would have put him in the role in the first place. And that's the same as when I came up against Lewis in my first year. Lewis came off the back of winning 6 years out of 7 in a row with the team. Yeah. Who maybe would have thought a young kid coming from Williams would beat Lewis Hamilton in his first year as his teammate. Let's move it on to Qatar just quickly. Last year, a little bit of a rough start to the race with the collision between you and Lewis in turn 1. A little bit rough, yeah. A little bit rough.
Come on! What the hell? Guys, come on! 2 races in a row.
But you had an incredible comeback to finish 4th here. So what are your expectations this year around? You already sort of said that this was a race you were banking on in the triple header. Yeah, absolutely. It's a race we were coming into with a lot of confidence, but actually the positives from Vegas have probably made us a little bit more sceptical now this weekend, so I think that plays into our favour. But I honestly couldn't tell you. I think we'll be there or thereabouts this weekend, and I hope we can fight for a podium. We'll be watching along eagerly. Thank you very much, George, and good luck this weekend. Cheers.
Let's get into both sides of the garage here, starting with George. Obviously, he's in a rich vein of form, as we've mentioned there, and he's absolutely smashed Lewis when it comes to qualifying this year, and he's 12 points now ahead of him in the championship. What sort of a team leader do you think he'll make, Naomi?
I think he'll make a great leader. You can just see in that interview, we had a really lovely long conversation, which I hope you'll be able to see on socials, because that was just a condensed version of a very interesting conversation with him, and he just oozed confidence. And I think that is something you need in a leader. You need direction, and I think George has always been the kind of driver who does the homework, gets to the bottom of things, and yeah, just has his ducks in a row with confidence. So I think that'll make for a good leader.
He's a sensible guy. Obviously, he's wanted to take leadership. He's taken his career into his own hands. We've always talked about his PowerPoint presentations to Toto, and now the director of the GPDA. He feels like he's a leader, and he exudes confidence, as Naomi was saying.
Yeah, he does, and especially when you're up, when you're up against someone like Lewis Hamilton, to have that much confidence in your ability, it's unusual in this sport. It really is. Most racing drivers are pretty insecure, but next year is a very, very different role. I think he would be a good leader, but he's also going to have in the back of his mind, there's this young kid coming up, and if he beats me in qualifying once, it feels like a failure. So it's a tricky one for a racing driver, but I think he's confident himself enough to understand that Kimi is going to challenge him.
Just looking over your shoulder, because Lewis is in the back of the garage here now, and obviously he's expressed some self-doubt, which is rare to hear from him, but occasionally he can get down on himself. Toto's explaining why he's had his problems with these ground effect cars, particularly in qualifying, saying it's just about corner entry, how he really loves to attack that, and these cars don't suit that particular style of racing, particularly on a Saturday. Do you understand what he's saying on that front?
I do understand. First of all, it sometimes can be quite refreshing to hear that superheroes like Lewis are human too, and that they do have their self-doubts. But after an extended period of not really having a lot of success with Mercedes since this new set of regulations came in, I understand why, as a driver, you doubt yourself. That can be, that can come down to driving style, as you say, that this set of cars, and we've seen it with other drivers. We saw it happen with Daniel. We saw it happen even with Valtteri a little bit. There are drivers who haven't been able to get the best out of themselves in these types of cars. Could it be different at Ferrari?
we don't know. We don't know.
We think that that's hope. You know, it may well be the motivation he needs to get it right. And certainly with someone like Charles Leclerc, who's also quick on a Saturday, that'll need to be the case. But he'll want to end on a high. He's had so much success with this team.
Yeah, and Mercedes will want him to end on a high. You know, to leave here as a winner would be amazing, and then go to Ferrari. So yeah, it's a big deal for Lewis. I think this is a great move for him. He's not found, you know, a comfortable place to be at Mercedes the last few races. So you need change sometimes in your life, and especially when you've been in the sport as long as he has.
OK, we're daddling out the pit lane to get onto the grid. Pit lane will be open in a few moments' time. Don't go anywhere.
Yeah, pit lane open shortly then, as we'll get into all the action from this event. I know Omi's behind. I don't know if he's got a microphone on though as well, in order to talk to us. No, he's deafened as well. So we're getting all set then for this event of the championship. Pit lane will open. Cars will begin leaving, and fingers crossed it's all going to be quite entertaining. Now, usually the green light goes on, so we'll keep an eye on it as well. Love to know your thoughts back at home. We've already got a comment coming through from our mate Joshua Smith, of course. Hello, Josh. It says, here we go, McLaren's championship clinching day. First time since 1998. First time in 26 years. So excited for this. Hopefully, hopeful to happen today as well. Looking like it will. Now, you might remember, I've got a side story. Megan, a couple of races ago, mid-race, she broke our lead for this microphone. It's got the black lead at the moment. That's to our microphone that has power, you know, like a radio podcast mic. So if you hear any crackles, I do apologise. The lead's not used to being moved up like this, and the power's getting interrupted. So that's why I'm having to hold it like that. We'll fix it for Abu Dhabi, but we haven't had time yet. So apologies for the few sound issues we have with this microphone. Like there, I just heard it in my ear coming through. But let's go. Papaya as well, says Michelle coming into it. Now, it's all looking fantastic. Just trying to see what the latest news is for the final starting grid. Max Verstappen has been confirmed. One race penalty on the grid, so he'll start this race second, which is a slight surprise, but can't really be moved. Hi, Jimmy, always great coverage. Thank you, Anthony. Hello, everybody. So we'll hand over to Sky shortly. Pit lane opens in 2 minutes, and we'll get going as well. Now, I want to give a little bit of praise here and we'll show you on the driver tracker as well with the results screen. This is effectively the starting grid. Just change Russell and Verstappen around and you've pretty much got it. Bit of praise here. Zhou Guanyu and Valtteri Bottas from Sauber. 12th and 13th on the grid. An amazing performance by them. Actually, Zhou Guanyu, 100% point scoring finish here. First race, of course, was in having finished 9th in 2023. Didn't race here, of course. He finished in the points as well in 2022. Technically, well, actually, no, we didn't race here in 2022, did he? He finished in the points in Abu Dhabi. Didn't race here in 22, so his first race here was 23, but did finish 9th. That car does look good. It looks quick. Could we see him possibly getting in the spirit of it and getting that Sauber up? Well, it's going to be pit stops. That will be the key for him. Remember, he was running in 8th place in Las Vegas before having to come in for a pit stop. So he could be certainly one to keep an eye on. Certainly as well, it's going to be a chance for some points, and they desperately need it. Even 1 point would get them an extra 100,000 in the prize pot as well. And if you score no points, you really struggle. And of course, Audi take over next year. Albert won't be there anymore, so it's one bad thing after another to come in as well. Nico Hülkenberg will be driving for them next year alongside Gabriel Bortoletto in the F2 race earlier on as well. We won't spoil it for you. He now is 0.5 of a championship point ahead. That championship going down to Abu Dhabi as well. Green lights on. Pit lane is open. And we'll head down to the one and only Ted Kravitz, who'll give us all the information. David Croft is up in the pit commentary box as well. He'll give us all the stats and facts ahead of this race as well. And hopefully we'll hear all the latest news as well. Rachel Brooks is around giving us all the interviews as well. Craig Slater from Sky Sports News. And, of course, we'll have the grid walk with Simon and Jensen as well, as he'll be up in the Skyphone commentary box as well. So, Sky are coming off ad break now. Let's hand over to them and join them as we get ready for the usual pre-race build-up for the 2024 Qatar Grand Prix. Simon.
Welcome back. 40 minutes to go until lights out here in Qatar. Let's go to Ted. Pit lane is open.
It certainly is, Simon. Yeah, thank you very much. Welcome down to the pit lane. So, racing under the lights, Formula One racing at night time for the second time in a week. Let's have a look at Charles Leclerc as he practices a start on the soft tyres. We're not expecting the soft tyre to make an appearance too much in this race this afternoon, but they're perfect just for getting the start system going. And as Charles Leclerc makes his way out, it's his Ferrari teammate Carlos Sainz who goes to the start box. But a very, very different circuit to Las Vegas on the streets and the rain of Brazil, and it was McLaren who rounded off the sprint race with a 1-2 finish, with that man Lando Norris giving up the win on the line to his teammate Oscar Piastri. But Red Bull have made a change between the sprint race and Grand Prix qualifying and the Grand Prix today, and that's transformed the handling of their car. So Max Verstappen, there he is, just behind the Williams of Franco Colapinto, still furious at that one-place grid demotion for a pretty much nothing infraction, and he wants to win the race today. But factor in George Russell wanting to make it 2 in a row, and we've really got a race on our hands today. Up in the commentary box, it's David Croft and Bernie Collins joining Jenson Button. Guys, what do you think about Max's chances today? And Crofty, if Qatar is known for its pearl fishing, who's going to be the oyster tonight?
Very good. We won't clam up on that one, Ted. George Russell and Max Verstappen have been on the front row together once already this season. Happened in Canada. Max went and won the race. It's, what, the second time since his last official pole in Austria that Max has been fastest in Q3, and he hasn't taken pole because of a grid penalty. This time, though, as you say, he's rightly incensed about it, and the Red Bull team not very happy either. I don't think he needs much extra motivation, Bernie, but maybe that'll be it. Watch the first corner here. Back-to-back poles then for George Russell. Should this be an easy one-stop race today, Miss Collins, or not? Because we haven't got the historical data that the teams often thrive on.
Yeah, we've only been here twice before, Crofty, like you say. We've got very, very different conditions this year to what we've had in the past. We've got much lower track temperatures for a start, and we've got that slight change to the DRS zone, 100 metres shorter. That promotes the one-stop strategy as we see some shenanigans in the pit lane.
Now, that might be crucial, because the race director's event notes have changed since Las Vegas. Remember Carlos Sainz when he was cutting over that white line, and now that pit entry road forms part of the pit lane. We're not racing, but that does go against what the race director's notes say.
You should be able to overtake in that area, so let's see what comes of that. But yes, like I was saying, we are expecting a one-stop strategy because of the lower track temperatures, because of the slight difficulty in overtaking. The pit loss is 26.5, so that helps promote that. If you start on the medium tyre, you're stopping around the lap 20 mark. If you start on the hard tyre, you're stopping around the mid-30s. I expect the majority to start on that medium tyre. That will be the preferred strategy. The alternative strategy, however, will be a two-stop race. Now, we think this is slower. Most people did a two-stop in 2021. Last year, obviously, it was a mandated three-stop. The two-stop we think is slower, except I think any safety cars or virtual safety cars will really bring this into contention. That you see of around 11 seconds stopping under a safety car, that'll be enough to make that two-stop quicker. So watch out for any safety cars maybe in the opening 10 laps of this race. That'll be the point that you could swing to the two-stop.
Could make things really, really interesting if drivers stop too early because of that safety car, and then the tyres don't hang on towards the latter stages of this race.
Exactly, and then the only final little nugget to add of information for those at home is 8 teams have 2 sets of hard tyres for the race. The 2 teams that don't are Ferrari and Williams. And that means that Ferrari and Williams have run the hard tyre and have got more information on it. So Will they stop too early for a tyre they don't know enough about?
And only once in the past has a race been held on December the 1st. It was the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix in 2019, and it was won by Lewis Hamilton, who led every lap that day. Mercedes led every lap in Vegas. George Russell is back on pole once again. Max Verstappen alongside him. And Sergio Perez has been noted for driving erratically in the pit entry. We'll see what comes of that. Race control may refer that to the stewards. Simon, down to you.
Thank you very much, Bernie and Crofty. Now it is time to say congratulations to the new F1 Academy champion, Abby Pulling is alongside us. High five, first of all. Well done. You absolutely nailed it. Yeah, I mean, look, you came into this weekend 95 points clear, Abby. Just tell us how emotional it's been, who you've had with you, and is this the greatest moment of your racing career?
I mean, I knew it was my championship to lose. Going to this weekend, there was a high possibility I was going to clench the title, and yeah, so proud to have achieved it. You know, I'm so thankful to everyone that's helped me get to where I am. And yeah, probably one of my proudest moments for sure.
Abby, it's been a long time coming. You are such a hard worker and you've always been a fast racing driver, so this doesn't come as a huge surprise, but next year you get a fully funded seat in GB3, so that's another step up. How much are you looking forward to that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think people realised how much pressure was riding on this year. I had to win. If I didn't win, my career was, you know, uncertain. I needed that prize, and yeah, it's just a big kind of pressure off my shoulders. I can go into Christmas happy. I know what I'm doing next year, and I'm just so excited for the challenge. The bigger car. I've been dying to have some downforce and some extra horsepower, so I can't wait.
But you've not just won the championship. I mean, you haven't been off the podium, have you?
No, not yet.
No, yeah. So, well, exactly. The pressure is on in the next two races. But a dominant victory this year. How is the emotion compared, you know, the race win emotion compared to winning the championship?
I mean, it's been a lot of anticipation. I mean, we've been getting some good results, been consistent, as you say. It's been mine to lose. So it was just such a big relief, and there's been so much work, not just this year, but past years. And you know, last year was tough for me, and I was in not a great place. I struggled a lot, and to bring it back, and not just bring it back, but do it the way that I have, I'm so proud. And I can't thank everyone around me who've really helped me on this journey.
Abby, F1 Academy have done an incredible job to get all 10 teams signed up to have a car with their livery on the grid. But I really want to know, how much of a difference has it made to be, I mean, you're a part of the Alpine Academy anyway, but performing with them this year, how much help are they giving you behind the scenes, and how much of a boost did that give you?
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing to be racing around, you know, Grand Prix circuit, supporting Formula One with the Alpine livery on the car. It's special, and I can't thank them enough for the support they've given. You know, I wouldn't be doing F1 Academy without their support. You know, they've put me on the grid, and I appreciate that so much, and they've really supported me since 2022. I mean, really pushing me on. They also support me a lot on the physical side. You know, they've shown me what I need to do. We do a lot of testing, and yeah, for the next step in GB3, I need to make sure I keep in the gym, especially my neck. There's a lot more G-forces in that car, so yeah, I can't thank them enough, and they've helped me a lot along this way.
Abby, quick word on family and the support they've given you. I know you talk about everybody that's given you support, but Grandpa watching on, he's a big supporter of yours, we understand, from back at home, and you had family here as well to celebrate with you.
Yeah, I mean, my dad's not been able to come to any of the races this year. He's been a bit poorly, but he kind of managed the flight out here and went anyway. And yeah, my granddad back at home, he's my biggest supporter. He's still got a cap that I've had since, you know, I was about 8 years old in karting. He's kept it. He absolutely loves it, and I just can't thank my family enough for the sacrifices they've made, and you know, my dad for sharing the love for the sport that he had when he was younger, and well, I don't know what you define as younger, but when he was you know, 40 odd years old, he showed me what the sport's about, and I just can't thank him enough for that. You know, he's really shown me, and you know, this is as much a win for him as it is for me.
Well, it's another one for Grandpa's scrapbook, and it's a really big one for you as well. We wish you all the best for the future, Abby. It's been fantastic to watch you grow this year and dominate. Well done. Really appreciate you stopping by. Right, let's hear from Lewis Hamilton. This just happened over Team Radio.
Yes, we just overtook In the pit lane entry. Attacking white line. Okay, copy, saw that.
Yeah, what did he say? What did he say?
So yeah, just trying to decipher what was said there. It's very difficult to hear down on the grid there. But yeah, the last thing he needs is a few issues before we go out, because as I said, the confidence has been suffering a little bit this weekend.
Yeah, honestly, I didn't hear what that radio message was, so I don't know if anyone in my ears can whisper what it was, but yeah, I didn't hear the message. What, did you hear it?
No.
Okay, great stuff. This is top quality punditry. We'll go back and we'll work out exactly what was said, and then we'll let's go to the sky because Anthony is there.
Thanks, Simon. Well, let's take a look at yesterday's sprint race as an example and things to look out for today, potentially. So first of all, we're looking at Oscar Piastri here and Lewis Hamilton here. Just clear those markers and get them going. Now, Piastri gets a good start. Lewis does as well, straight past Max Verstappen. And now what Piastri is going to do further up in that sister McLaren to Norris, he's got that gap, his nice gap here around the outside. And he's going to use that to his advantage against Russell. Now, I get the feeling that Russell should have probably started to send his car a little bit further outwards and run that McLaren out of road on the exit, but he leaves that space there the whole time. Piastri sees it there, that nice gap, and drives right around the outside of him. But further back, we're going to keep an eye on Sainz, because he's about to have a little snap of oversteer. There we go. And that causes, I'll just wind it back a little bit, that causes this chain reaction for all the cars behind him, all of these cars involved, his teammate Leclerc, Verstappen and Hülkenberg behind, to the point where Hülkenberg locks up because he's caught that group of cars. Verstappen then runs wide through turn 2. I think just from his own doing, he's just a little bit offline there, and that allows Hülkenberg then to slip through on the inside. So lots of action there down at turn 1. Piastri's passed Russell on the inside of turn 2. Brilliant stuff by him, and Russell will be, and other drivers in that position today, looking to maybe squeeze out their opponents around turn 1. Later on in the race, we can see overtaking. Russell there behind Piastri with the DRS open, goes to the inside, but he's got the door slammed in his face by Piastri there. And so it's close, but then Piastri obviously protected after that from his teammate in front giving him the DRS. We all know the story, and it was impossible for Russell to make the overtake. But further down the order, we saw Leclerc making good use of his DRS against Hamilton, vulnerable with no DRS, and gets alongside him through turn 1. Great stuff, brilliant driving between these two. Hamilton hangs it on for the inside of turn 2. Probably wishes, he said, I wish I carried a bit more speed there and made his life a bit more difficult. But Leclerc has the job done. Hamilton tries to overtake back into turn 4, but he's not quite enough alongside. But brilliant driving. We are going to see, therefore, I think, quite a bit of overtaking today, especially when you throw pit stops into the mix.
Okay, right at the back of the grid, Esteban Ocon lining up from position number 20, and ahead of him, Franco Colapinto. But what a difference a day makes, Jensen. We were talking about Nico Hülkenberg inside the top 10 again in sprint, qualified for the sprint, and then a battery issue costing him yesterday.
Yeah, so frustrating. They've been so quick for the last few races, both drivers putting in great laps. Yeah, disappointing, because a wonderful job in sprint race to come home P7 in front of Max Verstappen. So yeah, disappointing for him, but his teammates done okay. So just looking back, this is where you don't want to be. When you get out your car and you look around, there's no one behind you. You know you're a long way from the front of the grid. It's always a strange feeling for a racing driver.
And we also know here that overtaking opportunities are limited. We saw yesterday most of the action turns 1 and 2.
Yeah, it's definitely the only real place, turn 1 and 2, for passing. You've really got to line them up with the DRS to get them into turn 1. The moves are done under braking. We've seen some amazing lunges into turn 1 on the inside, outside, and that's where it starts, but it can continue all the way through to turn 3.
Stroll looking pensive over there. It's one of those seasons actually for Aston Martin when we look at it, you know when you test Fernando Alonso's patience. They've been going backwards. They've made the implementation. They've brought obviously Adrian Newey in, but Dan Fallow is also suffering, moving elsewhere within the organisation. They've got a big job on their hands to get things right for next year, or do you think the focus will now smoothly move towards 2026?
Yeah, I think everyone is starting to think about 26. The regs obviously don't change next year. It's just tweaking here and there. I'm sure they'd love a big upgrade, but it's just not really on the cards. But Yeah, you know, the way we saw such good performance from them at the start of the year, and you just think, oh, well, it's going to continue to get better, but it doesn't always happen in Formula One like that, because other teams are improving all the time as well. But it's been so difficult that even Fernando Alonso said that he's questioned kind of his ability until qualifying yesterday.
Now, the Saubers, this last time they actually scored points was here last year, back in 2023. Valtteri Bottas just in behind Zhou Guan Yu. And obviously, I mean, both of these guys, you just wonder with GM and Cadillac coming into the sport, whether they're going to be targeting that as a potential seat for 2026, even if they have to have a year off.
Yeah, it's definitely opened the door a little bit for a few drivers that don't have drives in 25. But it's interesting, yeah, how they're so competitive around a track like this. You know, they've been nowhere all year, and suddenly they're just outside the top 10, and both drivers as well. But it's definitely a little bit of a kick in confidence for both of them.
Let's go and see if we can have a quick word with Ollie Oakes. Ollie, we are able to just interrupt here for a moment and just have a quick word. Pierre, just outside of the top 10. I mean, we saw what happened in Vegas. He was really disappointed yesterday. What's the possibilities today, do we think?
Yeah, look, I think it was a bit wounding in Vegas, but I think we're looking positive today, yeah.
Is there anything special you can do here with strategy? Because it's such a difficult track to overtake. There's no degradation. Is there something you can try and work out of this race and get him well into the points?
I think, honestly, the #1 strategy button is if you can beat him off the line. That's what we're hoping for, but the rest we'll have to see how it goes. Yeah.
Top man, best of luck today. We'll have a little stroll over here, and actually the furthest forward of the two Hasses, or the further forward of the two Hasses today, is Kevin Magnussen, looking to finish with a flourish. I wonder what the future holds for him.
Yeah, he's been really strong this second part of the season. It's funny with K-Mag, because when the car's not strong, you really see his head drop and his performances aren't there. But when the car has a bit of pace, he is there.
We were just talking about Nico Hulkenberg yesterday. Did he have was there an issue with the battery?
Yeah, in the slow laps he went on the wrong mode, and we should have spotted that, but we didn't. So he started the last flying lap with not enough energy, so that like half a second straight away. But it's more than that, because as you know, as a driver, you go into the braking zone, your speed is totally different because you're not deploying. So yeah.
And mentally it's tough, because you just know that the lap isn't going to be there. But I have to say, you guys have impressed me a lot this year in terms of your improvement, your consistency over the llast few races. It's better than we've seen for many years. What do we put that down to? Is that down to you?
No, it's a huge team effort. Honestly, very happy with what we've achieved as a team so far, but our race pace is very good, as you saw yesterday on the sprint. So yeah, hopefully we can repeat that today.
Very tight for sixth. Currently you're ahead of Alpine by a couple of points. The pressure on Kevin Magnussen, the further forward of your two drivers today. What are you expecting? Can he get into the point?
Yeah, of course, that's the target. Get into the points, finish ahead of Gasly. So yeah, that's what we focused on. I believe we can do it.
Best of luck, appreciate it. Yeah, let's keep going. Over the other side here is Sergio Perez, who's starting from 9th, and actually after going out early again in Q1 and being plumb last in the sprint, it was for him just a case of a test session, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, he's obviously got a bit more confidence because he's got it into Q3. Now he can actually fight for some proper points, which is what the team need. But yeah, still a long way off the pace of his teammate Max.
Yeah, and Fernando Alonso, actually, that's the furthest forward he's been since Austin. Again, as we're talking about, when it was bad for McLaren in those days, the GP2 engine, he's actually, for Fernando, he's been fairly reserved on the performance of that team that has gone backwards since the end of last year, really.
He has, but it was so nice to watch him in qualifying yesterday. He only had one go at it in Q3, and he delivered, he really did. It was the proper feisty Fernando that we're used to seeing, and yeah, really impressive lap to go P8.
Yeah, let's go back to that. That team radio was actually to do with Oscar Piastri, and he thought that overtaking with pit entry line there with regards to Oscar Piastri. But that is, there we go. That is the empty car number 44. And as we mentioned, you're absolutely so desiring finishing on a high at the team where he's had so much success.
I think everyone wants to see him finish on a high. You know, it's been such an incredible career with Mercedes, winning 6 World Championships with them. It would be fantastic if he could come away with at least a podium at either here or Abu Dhabi.
What about Charles here today? What are we thinking with regards to his chances? It just hasn't been quite on song for him in particular areas for the Ferrari this weekend. It's just, yeah, as compared to the McLaren, just a little way off, couple of tenths.
Yeah, he has been, and he's been a little bit off of Carlos obviously in the sprint race. Carlos has been quite aggressive, so yeah, it's been interesting to see the difference between them.
Let's have a quick word with Rio Ferdinand. Great to see you, Rio. Well, first of all, Manchester United with a decent win a little bit early, we understand, over Everton. What are we thinking of the new management in there, Rio?
I don't know. I'm here for the F1, man. I was talking about football another day. I'm just buzzing to be here, man. I love the F1 vibe that you guys are going on. I'd love to see that in football as well.
Rio, where have you been? Huh? It's been like forever.
I know, man. Where did I see you last? Was it Monaco?
A long time ago.
Long time ago, many years. So I'm back on the grid now. I'm here to stay.
Who are you following particularly?
Obviously, Lewis, being an English guy, I love him, but Max Verstappen as well, obviously, he's a super talent. So I respect elite sportsman. He's one of them guys.
We have seen you on the grid a number of times, but what have we thought of the season this year?
No, it's crazy, man. You know what I love? Because I've not been for so long. Just the difference in terms of like the technology now has just gone up through the roof, and you guys seem to be leading the way in sports in that department.
Yeah, it's amazing how it's grown over the last few years, and it's fantastic to see it improving all the time. Obviously, Lewis, 7-time world champion, 2 more races with Mercedes. It would be lovely to see him stand on the podium, wouldn't it?
I'd love that, man. It'd be a way to go out. We all want to go out in the perfect fashion, and I hope that he gets the opportunity to do that.
Last one, and it is football. Quick prediction on Liverpool, Manchester City. Come on, it kicks off in 50.
I don't care about them 2 teams, man.
Thank you, Rio. Appreciate it. Let's move on a bit further forward, hopefully in front of the Red Bull car. We can have a word with Christian Horner, just finishing up with Fox here. Christian, let's just jump in here. Sorry to jump in front of Tom Christensen there. What are we thinking today, and what did you make of what happened and the penalty given to Max?
Well, look, I think for me it's a bit like a football player taking a dive in the penalty box. I mean, if anything, you could have argued that George was going too fast behind, and he knew that there were 2 cars ahead going slower, and none of them were on racing laps. So I'm not quite sure why we ended up with a 1-place penalty, but if it gave Max any extra motivation, it's certainly given that.
We understand he is extremely fired up for today after that.
Well, look, I mean, these races are like cup finals for us now, so yeah, he's wound up for this one.
Christian, the pace in the sprint wasn't that great in sprint qualifying, and then you guys turned it around in qualifying.
Yeah.
Are you expecting that same sort of pace in the race, or did you really go for trying to get it working for the 1 lap low fuel?
No, I think what we improved in quali will help in the race, and you know, his comments on those reconnaissance lap was, it all seems pretty together. So long as we get a good start, I think we'll be all right.
Tom, thank you, appreciate it. Okay, stewards, we understand a look at Oscar Piastri after the race. Let's just focus, if we could, then on the man that has inherited pole position. There we go. Where's Robbie? Quick one. Quick prediction on the big match, Liverpool against Manchester City.
Liverpool win, not he?
Yes, he is. He's just going to do that. And then on the man that's inherited pole position here today, George Russell. What's he got to do to stay ahead of those very, very quick McLarens that are fired up Max Verstappen?
Well, keep his head at the start, which we know he's very good at. A great start in Vegas. Get it off the line, and then they can hopefully control it from there. We hope there's more of a fight than that, though, and I think there will be between the top 3.
We shall see. There we go, as the drivers make their way to the front of the grid. We can say it is time now for the national anthem. Penultimate race of the season. Qatar Grand Prix is not far away.
Of Qatar.
as he walks past us now. Let's just hear from him. See, a few moments ago, he spoke with Craig Slater.
George, just very quickly, you think Max will be a little bit extra fired up having lost pole?
Yeah, I know he is. He's already told me. So, you know, it's going to be an interesting turn one, but at the end of the day, focus on ourselves, try and make a good start and see what we can do.
Big advantage if you can get away cleanly and keep the lead.
Yeah, for sure, but I think, you know, Lando's quick, Max is going to be quick. We don't know with the Ferraris, but as I said, we just got to focus on our own race.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Yeah, we understand. I genuinely, there have been some very, very strong words from Max towards George with regards to what happened overnight. I mean, there we go. I mean, just adds a little bit of extra spice. We're not trying to stir it. That is genuinely what we understand has happened today.
Yeah, I know. We know Max is frustrated. We understand that the circumstances are kind of complicated and it's a bit bizarre why he got that penalty to begin with. But we know he's an aggressive driver. I know Max is going to be trying to do everything he can in turn one to get back past. There's still a strong headwind down this main straight, so we saw yesterday how much of an advantage that was for cars that got tucked up behind. So if he can just get behind George a little bit, punch through that air, and then maybe get past, we could see action in turn one.
The pole position here has the advantage, of course, with the that's the racing line. I've spoken to George's race engineer, Marcus Dudley. He said, by rights, we should get a pretty decent getaway. We were happy with our start from yesterday's sprint as well, from George's side. And so they're quite confident in being able to get a good start there.
Okay, let's go to Ted. What can you tell us, Ted?
Simon, yes, Lando Norris's car just starting up, warming up on the grid, but there was a tension on the right rear drum, the brake drum down there. They just found something that wasn't quite seated right. Just had to just sand it down a little bit under inspection from the FIA. They were happy with it. McLaren are now happy with that right rear brake drum. Hopefully it's nothing that should affect them. McLaren have taken off a little bit of rear downforce, expecting not to be at the front for this race, but it will make them pretty quick in a straight line. But let's hear how Lando is going to be approaching the race. He's with Craig.
Lando, how significant is that, the fact that it's switched around between George and Max in the front row?
Yeah, none. I want to beat both of them, so it doesn't make a difference.
But using that hard tyre today, how significant is that?
I mean, we all have to use it. I just hope it suits us more than them.
It doesn't look like many people are going to be using the softs because we saw exactly what happened in the sprint there. Zhou Guanyu, the only one to do that, and the graining absolutely opened it up very, very quickly. But as we mentioned, if you're just tuning in for the first time this week, and if McLaren finish 1-2, actually 14 points will do it for them, but 15, if they're clear, absolutely make sure that they will be Constructors' Champions for the first time. We understand the race pace. It looks on paper extremely, extremely close, Anthony.
I really think it's going to be tight. I'm super excited for this race. Yesterday's race was good enough. They were all nose to tail in the DRS train. That was no pit stops. Today, throwing a bit of strategy. We'll be hearing from Bernie Collins, I'm sure, later on in the race today, as she's in race control alongside Crofty and Jensen. But I think you throw into the mix some pit stops, different strategies, different tyres. We will see some overtaking. It's going to be super close the whole race.
Do you think McLaren had a little bit up their sleeve yesterday in the sprint that we might see today?
Yeah, it sounded like, especially the way that they've geared the car yesterday after Park for May was reopened for qualifying, that they did maybe gear the car a little bit more towards the race pace. We'll have to wait and see. I personally think if I was Andrea Stella, I would be telling them, you know, 1-2 would be great. They want to seal this deal, but it's more important to be conservative, get good points. They've got enough of a buffer in the championship to just finish where they are, finish ahead of the Ferraris. That's all you need to do.
Absolutely right, Naomi. You know, they've got to think about the two people in front, nothing to lose. Yeah. And they've got to be wary of that situation. Two very different races going on here today.
You do have to say, though, the turnaround, what Red Bull managed to achieve between, you know, qualifying for the sprint and then qualifying itself, when it came out of Parc Fermé, they found an extra 8 tenths. I mean, you know, that is credit to everybody back at the factory and the engineering team in particular.
Yeah, you don't even have to look that far back. In the sprint race yesterday, Max was falling backwards at a rate of knots, just complaining about oversteer, understeer. The car was all over the place, and they managed to completely sort that out. If you look at his lap, they were really comfortable, and the car felt really stable. It looks like a much better car today.
Very quick word with Zach. Zach, what are we thinking today? The Constructors is on the line for you. Can you do it? First and second will do it for you.
I think we can do it. I don't think it's going to be easy. I'm not sure if we will do it, but we're going to give it everything we've got and just treat it like any other race.
What's the message to the drivers today? What's the plan?
Keep doing what you've been doing all year. They've been doing a great job.
I was surprised not to see your car on pole position, though. I thought this was a McLaren circuit, and you showed it yesterday.
We're not far off, but you got to say George put in a mega lap, and of course Matt. So I think we got some tough competition tonight.
Zach Vesselang, appreciate you stopping by. There we go. We are getting close to this penultimate race of 2024. It is George Russell who has inherited pole position after that one-place grid penalty to Max Verstappen. As we've just said, he is going to be motivated, but so too the McLarens from the second row of the grid. Qatar Grand Prix is next.
Thanks, guys. Trackside as well. Alongside me in the commentary box for this one is Ed Hunter and Jess Ball as well. We'll give them a few moments to get themselves set up and ready to go. It's going to be absolutely fantastic, this event. And they're both here now. Hello. Good evening to you both. Ed, starting with you. Qatar Grand Prix, always an exciting sprint. Can the Grand Prix live up to it as well?
I don't know. I guess there was the Lewis-Charles battle, but other than that, I thought it was, and of course the McLaren swapping positions at the end. Other than that, I thought it was a little bit of a wait-and-see sort of race, where the race stopped before we got to see anything, which tends to be the story with the sprints. And we saw Lando Norris handing a sprint win back to Piastri, which sort of just shows McLaren can sort of trade them, and neither driver feels particularly put out by giving up a win because it's not a full race. So, but yeah, hopefully this will be a little bit more interesting with Verstappen and Russell fighting each other. McLaren looking to try and seal that constructors a race early. Ferrari, we haven't really seen the best of Ferrari yet. It just start a couple of places behind them. So, interested to see what Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz can do here, and also some of the underdog stories like the Saubers, whether the Bottas and Gio can maybe sneak a point here and there, with the Sauber really working well on these sort of quite high-speed tracks at the back end of the season with their update package. Looks like Audi have decided to, oh, maybe we should put some money into this team before we officially take it over after all, and they've started to put a few upgrade packages in there, which is nice to see. So yeah, I don't think it's a brilliant track. Like, it's basically MotoGP, but it has its challenges. It's pretty unique. I remember the last year we had those temperature issues where it was like a sauna in those cars. Like driving a bathtub for a sauna, if essentially with all the temperatures set to high. So there are people basically struggling not to pass out. So I really hope the FIA took all that on board from last year, and there's a few more precautions to sort of stop drivers getting to that point this time. I think that's really important to keep in mind.
Looks like they're going to introduce as well the mechanical fan sort of air intake as well. Jess, welcome to you. Got a minute as well. What are you?
One way to fill the grandstands, mechanical fans.
Mechanical fans. Jess, you with us? Hello, Jess. Back up in the box for you for the first time in a while. What are you expecting to see here today? Oh, you're on mute, Jess. No worries. Go on. Okay.
Wait a minute. Yeah, there we go.
Jess, you're back.
Right, there we go. Hi. I reckon it's going to be a very close race. We don't know who's going to do well, either Verstappen, the McLaren, George Russell, either Ferraris. Could we see McLaren take their first constructors? I think it's going to be a tough one. I think the constructors will go down to the last race, hopefully. But if McLaren do it today, well deserving after a strong season they had. But looking forward to the race.
Qatar Grand Prix then for 2024. Russell on pole with Verstappen second. It's a tricky circuit to get right in terms of battling weather and conditions. It's all about to get underway. Omi's down in the pits for us as well. Alongside us in the commentary box is Ed Hunter, Jess Ball and Megan Birch as well. Two previous Grand Prix here have been won by the two greats of Formula One in the past couple of years, Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen. But Oscar Piastri's won two sprints here as well. It's a circuit that demands respect, and it's a circuit that definitely demands the adrenaline push. Here it comes then, the 2024 Qatar Grand Prix, as we get 57 laps ahead of us. Well, enough of your sprint. Main course up now. Welcome to the Lusail International Circuit in Doha, Qatar. Opened in 2004 and attracted MotoGP, a circuit purpose-built for that. How does it handle four-wheel racing? Pretty damn good so far. It's a penultimate round of the championship, round 23 of 24. And this Lusail International Circuit as well is challenging at 4 miles long, a total of 5.419 kilometres, 57 laps ahead of us for the main race distance as well. You get an elevation change of just 4.8 metres coming out of turn 16, sort of downhill towards turn number 1. 16 turns in total. Pirelli this year bringing the hardest tyre compounds, the hard C1, medium C2 and soft C3 tyre as well. We're expecting to see the hards and the mediums as the main tyres today. And taking a look at the starting grid, it is all change as well after qualifying yesterday. A penalty for Max Verstappen has put him down to second, with Russell taking pole position. But at the back, Esteban Ocon having one of his worst qualifyings of the year. He starts 20th. Franco Colapinto is 19th. Nico Hülkenberg is in 18th position as well, 2 places off his best ever qualifying here. He's alongside Liam Lawson 17th. Alexander Albon is 16th, with Lance Stroll in 15th position. 14th for Yuki Tsunoda, but 13th for Valtteri Bottas. Great qualifying from him here as well. And then Yuki Tsunoda alongside him. Zhou Guanyu, for the first time this year, qualifies his teammate and gets his highest grid start, 12th. He hasn't been that high since the sprint race. A main Grand Prix, it's his best. Pierre Gasly's 11th. Magnussen starts 10th, and Sergio Perez did make it through to Q3 for the first ever time here in Qatar. He starts 9th. Fernando Alonso lines up 8th with Carlos Sainz alongside in 7th. Lewis Hamilton in 6th with teammate for next year, Charles Leclerc, lining up in P5. And then the front 2 rows, it is McLaren's day here. Can they become a Constructors' champion? Just 14 points is all they need, at 15 to secure. Piastri is 4th, and Lando Norris is 3rd. Max Verstappen a 1-place grid penalty for blocking George Russell in qualifying when they were both on a cool lap. Yeah, don't know how that works either. George Russell inherits poles for the 6th time in his career and for the 3rd time this season. Let's start with that, shall we, everybody, and try and get an understanding as we welcome you onto the commentary box as well. Jess, starting with you. Really weird penalty for Max Verstappen yesterday. They were both on cool-down laps, and apparently it was Verstappen driving unnecessarily slowly is the reason he's been docked from pole position. What do you make of it?
Well, personally, I think it's ridiculous. If, honestly, we found out that both of them were cool-down laps, Verstappen should have got a slap on the wrist. He shouldn't have got a penalty. A penalty should only be given if he was blocking George Russell on a flyer. But George Russell was not on the flyer. So Verstappen getting a penalty is absolutely ridiculous, in my opinion.
Ed, what about you?
I think the 1-place penalty is a slap on the wrist, essentially. And I agree the way it's been handled is very odd. They sort of said, oh, well, if it was a flying lap, we would have given a more severe penalty. And this is the slap on the wrist, essentially. So I think the justification is a bit weird. And we know the FIA, they're basically struggling to get stewards in because they're being sacked every 5 minutes by the FIA president. So it is a bit of a thin on the ground as to whoever we can get in, make a judgment, and then we get the next person in. But yeah, certainly it did seem to benefit George Russell in this case, the aggrieved party. So I get that's why people are a little bit suspicious of it. But I think it's not going to hurt Max that much. Maybe he's a little bit on the dirty side of the grid, but he's a very, very smart race car driver and a world champion for the 4th time in a row just recently. So I think he's not going to let it stop him, and Russell's certainly going to have a fight in his hands if he wants to win this one.
7 o'clock, we are underway for the formation lap here in Doha, Qatar. And every driver starting on the medium compound, bar Nico Hülkenberg, will start on a brand new set of hards. Few drivers are choosing an older set of mediums that have done 1 lap before, i.e. that is Russell. Megan's not here yet, so here's your possible tyre strategies. A 1-stopper, starting on the mediums, taking them to 22 laps, then onto the hard tyres for 35 laps. A 2-stopper, take the mediums to 15 laps, a set of hards for 21, and then another set of hards for 21 as well. So it's pretty much a mix-up between those two in terms of tyre strategies, as Megan now does walk walk into the commentary box and she's wondering why I've already written down something that happened on the sighting lap with Piastri. He blocked Lewis Hamilton and overtook in the pit lane and has been given an investigation after the race for failing to follow race director's instructions as well. So you can have that side of the page, by the way, Megan, with your pens. Here, Megan, put your... I moved it to right, so just pop your headset on to come in. Takes you a while. You're right. Hello, how are you?
I'm fine.
Right, no. Oh, I might have put it on earlier. Sorry, I had to put it on right at the end. I haven't got that big of a head.
I have a small head.
Big brain, though.
Yes.
What do you reckon of
Look.
this? Yes, I know. What do you reckon of this race then coming in? What have you got to look forward to?
Hopefully crashing.
Do you think
skidding off circuit?
I have a feeling that we're going to see Verstappen and Russell contact straight into turn 1.
Ooh, that would be interesting.
Yeah.
That won't be surprising.
No, it's not. It would be
Carlos
ironic.
Sainz playing spot the driver. There's Alonso.
So where is he? Sainz starts 7th, Alonso is 8th. They're alongside each other on the grid as well. So McLaren, all they need for a Constructors' Trophy here today is 14 more points than Ferrari. They've sold out here in Qatar. It's a grandstand full house. The same happens in MotoGP. Everybody wants to be here as well to see what it was. Look, I did notice there, Ed, however, they didn't tell us what the number was. It just said sold out across the weekend.
Yeah. Also, I don't imagine there'll be too many gay people that they'll be letting in the stands tonight. So that is something to consider just very, very briefly before we get going. But anyway, but this would be McLaren's first constructors title since '98, but it would also be their 9th, which will put them equal with Williams in the all-time list. So as a Williams fan, part of me is a little bit hoping it goes to the final race at least. But you can't take anything away from McLaren. 2 brilliant drivers, brilliant team, brilliant car.
And they really are getting all set then, Jess, as they come onto the grid. Ocon, though, for worst qualifying. Gasly starts in 11th, Ocon 20th. It's bad for them in the Constructors. They've got to go ahead of Haas. Haas have an advantage here today, Jess. Who do you think is going to be good in the battle for 6th?
I think it's going to be a close one between these two, but we know how Hulkenberg and Max are going to be consistent all season, and they're the ones closer car-wide on points, so should be interesting. But the medical car is about to go in the back to wave the green flag. I'll let you get started, Josh.
Look at Verstappen already aiming towards George Russell, so he'll try and cut across him into turn 1. The 3rd Qatar Grand Prix has all 5 lights on. Action in Qatar, and again Russell gets a good start. Verstappen's going to try and go with him down to turn 1. Look at Hulkenberg and Magnussen, the 2 houses immediately blocking off. Verstappen has the inside line and leads it to 1. Norris on the inside line. He's going to try and take both of them. Brilliant start from Lando Norris. He's into the lead of the race. He's side by side. There's contact in the back. And there's Hulkenberg off further back. I said there was a problem with the 2 Haas cars as well. Norris now trying to go on the outside of Verstappen into turn 3. Perez blocking the back as well of Magnussen. Hulkenberg's off, so is Colapinto, and we've got Ocon and Colapinto off at turn 1. Safety cars on standby, and contact in the back.
Ooh.
3 cars off further back, can't see what it is.
Wide.
Might have to be a safety car. Ocon and
Colapinto's out.
And there's Piastri, he's
Turn
ahead.
1.
Sainz got ahead now, Leclerc's trying to get ahead of Piastri. Piastri's back ahead. Safety car, standby, safety car deployed. We've got Ocon and Colapinto out, as here comes the safety car now.
100% safety car record.
Yep, that's confirmed then. It's all 3 years the safety cars come out in the opening lap. And there we see Ocon started at the back. I said watch out for him with damage. Once again, Franco Colapinto is out of a Grand Prix when he didn't need to be. And Ocon having an absolute massive contact with him. Ocon's side pod's gone, and this is going to be a bit of a delay. As there was said, Hulkenberg had problems. He's got damaged floor and a puncture to the rear tyre head.
Yeah, so clearly he was involved in the contact there, and he obviously started on the hards. There was a technical issue, wasn't there, in qualifying, which is why Hulkenberg was 18th on the grid, and basically Colapinto and Ocon, who were on the back row together, have collected each other at turn 3 and 4, which is a bit of a shame for both of them, for their respective teams as well. But Ocon was having a pretty horrible weekend. Colapinto wasn't having a much better one either. So, yeah, it's really down to their teammates to bring home the points in the Constructors' Championship then, as the red Mercedes-AMG safety car, not the Aston Martin one that I showed earlier, is leading the field then. And Verstappen just holding off Norris, crucially, but Russell, the big loser there, as Norris was able to sneak by him while Russell was trying to defend from pole position.
Here's the start, Megan.
Right, so obviously the left side gets pretty bad start, though
Terrible
almost
start from
contact.
Look at the start of Hamilton, just didn't get going.
And moving on to braking happened near the back. Oh!
That was
Hulkenberg was involved too.
Hulkenberg had a puncture before in the braking zone. He went wide and spun, and then that collected Ocon, who collected Colapinto.
I think one of them was also, like, what's it called again?
On the off-track excursion, not too sure. Look at Norris though, Ed, on the inside line. Great move. And there's the contact. Oh yeah, Hulkenberg's locked up.
Ocon was it
pincered?
No,
pinched. Stuck in the middle.
I can't think of the word.
Well,
locked up.
There we
That's
go.
not good for a commentator, Megan.
He locked up round turn 1, which is the reason why Colapinto actually crashed.
Let's have a look. Yeah, locked up on the inside front. Yeah. All pincered there, Ed.
Yeah, it's frozen on my end, sadly, so I'm
right.
just sitting on board with Ocon. But look to me from the previous shot, like Hulkenberg had an issue, spun on the inside. We run on board. He goes just a little bit too deep, gets tagged, or tags the Colapinto, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Was that Albon he just missed?
Yeah, Albon has
might
gone
be.
down to 16th. And here's a secondary one at 3. I said Albon went wide. Yeah, Albon got tagged as well by a spinning Lance Stroll.
Massively hit by Stroll. Yeah, copy that.
Not a good day
What's
to be at
going on
Williams.
tonight with contact?
I knew he was going to do it. I could tell, Albon says.
Stroll was side by side. Did he actually give him any room? No, that's not Stroll's fault.
Yeah, that was just a
No,
racing
it's not.
incident. He couldn't give any more. But also, did you see that Hulkenberg also stopped on the track as well at one point?
Yeah, he's got going now though.
Yeah.
I think
I saw he had something.
Oh,
wrong.
Show's dropped down to 15th. Did he get involved in his contact with Stroll?
Yes.
Yes, he did.
He had to slow down.
Oh.
He had to avoid it.
There's clear.
It's faster, what the
Well, the drivers seem to be blaming Stroll for that one. I'll defer to the drivers. They're the racing drivers, but
they're the experts.
I would say they had nowhere to go, and Stroll was on the inside, and it just all clambered together. Messy start then here for Qatar. Really messy start.
As it stands, I'm just trying to look at them at it. It will go to the next round in Abu Dhabi because McLaren only outscored Ferrari by 8 points.
Yep, needs to be more than 14, so double that. Well, 15 to be safe as well, so need to get more than that.
Get an Aston to take up the Ferraris then.
Right. Let's regroup after that interesting start to the Grand Prix. Let's give you a rundown. Verstappen leads, Norris is second, Russell third, Leclerc fourth, Piastri fifth, Sainz is sixth, Perez seventh, Alonso eighth, Hamilton's ninth, he's down 3 places on the start. Tsunoda's up 4, he's into 10th. Magnussen and Gasly have dropped down 1, Bottas still where he is, Lawson's up 3, Zhou down 3, Albon's where he is, and Stroll's down 2 places as well. Russell and Piastri have lost places on the start as well. Russell down 2, Piastri down 1, and Perez up 2. New graphic for that safety car, I like that.
I mean, if they
the
say they
grandstand there or
can't
anything?
see it.
Blocking the grandstand, aren't they there? Jess, is your picture... No, you're fine. I don't know. Jess, is your picture frozen? Can you hear me? No, you're fine. Good.
My picture's fine. I just clicked and unclicked disable video and it worked for me.
Ah, good.
Yeah, I had a similar thing where I realised I had about 50 tabs open in the background because I've been doing all the Formula E stickers and trying to get the sponsor logos from like Google Images. I had like 50 Google Image tabs open, so I've closed all of those and it seems to have sorted itself out. So yeah, we can crack on with the racing once the safety car is done. But obviously, it's taken a while to recover the cars of Ocon and Colapinto.
You could hear it.
Beep,
It's the
beep,
JCB sound.
Beep, beep.
Verstappen apparently made a mistake in that last corner that we didn't see, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. He has got the fast.
Does anyone mind if I start cutting out stickers
on.
during this
Go
safety car period?
Go for it. There's nothing else better to do.
Well, I'll tell you.
Talk to you guys, which I can do at the same time.
Well, after this race, we're putting up our Christmas decorations. I'm making some proper hot chocolate. We've got some chocolate. We're melting it down. And yeah.
Oh, nice. Our Christmas tree is up and it's beautiful. We also have a mini Christmas tree. Plus mini Christmas trees after that, which are like miniature ones.
I'm trying to convince.
So, yeah,
safety cars in this lap. Safety cars in this lap. I'm trying to get. Let's have a look at the start
now
again.
I just started.
Right, Megan, here's the restart with Verstappen.
Good getaway.
Russell comes across the block, and then it's Norris who's going to go on the inside line to 1.
It's like, surprise.
Yeah, look, he's looking, thinking, where did that McLaren come from?
Just like, where did you come from? I thought I got rid of you.
And does he open the steering wheel? No, he doesn't. Fair moving between them lot then. I'm trying to convince Megan to get some tinsel at the bottom of the JBMotorsports banner here.
You want tinsel?
Yes, do it.
Tinsel.
You can put tinsel if you want.
I'm tempted to wear like a Santa's hat for next week's broadcast.
Oh, I've got
I'll have to steal one from the Cub Scout.
I've got a Christmas tie. I'm going for that.
Maybe I'll wear your friends.
Right, ready for the restart then. I noticed Omi's having numerous problems as well. So, Verstappen will lead Norris, Russell, Leclerc, and Piastri and Sainz. So, this is not good news.
Everything before.
Yeah. Here we go again then.
Ooh.
Now, Oliver Behrman pushed it out of turn 15.
Now the Behrman, what are you on about?
No, in Formula 2, when we had the restarts, Behrman pushed it out of turn 15 earlier
We
on.
needed that context, Josh, before you
Yeah.
started rambling about Ollie
Yeah,
Behrman.
you should have said in Formula 2.
And we're getting ready for the restart. Out of the last corner, Max has hit the medal, and we are underway again here in Qatar. Verstappen leads Norris by half a tenth of a second, and look further behind as well. Alonso and Hamilton making battles together. Alonso's on the inside line. Piastri trying to go around the outside. Russell looking at Norris at the same time. Hamilton passes Alonso, and round the outside goes Yuki Tsunoda. Brilliant move from Yuki, and there's contact already. Liam Lawson goes spinning out with Valtteri Bottas. Bottas continues on. Lawson down and spinning. He should be able to continue that. Yellow flags out.
He's carrying on.
Clear. So, already there was more drama, and there's gravelled the exit of turn 4. What a move from Yuki Tsunoda. Fantastic stuff from him as he tries to come through on the inside line as well. So, lap 5 of this race continuing. Verstappen leads Norris, Russell, Piastri, Leclerc, Sainz, Perez, Hamilton, Tsunoda, and Alonso. The top 10. Great restart there.
It was a great
Apart from
restart.
Lawson, who's dropped back, and Bottas. So both the Saubers going down.
Under no further investigation for Ocon, Hulkenberg and Colapinto.
Oh.
How interesting.
Deemed a racing incident, I think.
I don't know about that one.
Well, the Ocon bit was definitely... If anyone was the cause of that, it was Hulkenberg.
I suppose you can't control spinning.
Yeah.
And trouble. He's just lost a couple of places.
Here is.
Alonso.
Oh, no. Yeah, you're right. Alonso's down to 11th.
Oh, yeah, he had a bit of trouble.
And he's going to lose time now to Gasly. Look at that. Gasly's got a great run at him down to turn 1.
A little thing called Mercedes happened to him.
DRS enabled. Let's have a look. Here we go. This is the replay. It's two. For this instance, we need a full picture because what are we looking at here?
Yeah.
Hey, red.
Especially because my stream froze during that restart,
Yeah.
so like I didn't see any of it. I saw Piastri getting past, and then I didn't see anything else.
Show an Albon under investigation.
Right, here we go with Lawson. Side by side. That's Bottas on the outside. Lawson's on the inside, down to turn 1. Lawson brakes. Oh, and he loses it himself, and
that pushes off Bottas.
Yeah.
Everyone's losing it around there. Can these lot make it one turn on a start without losing it?
Tyre temperatures, got to be. And look at that. That was Hamilton barging past Alonso, and he's looking to see where Tsunoda is, and Tsunoda just holds it around the outside. Here he is.
Yeah. The speed on the straight is worrying.
There is none.
Bottas and Lawson.
They're probably running a higher downforce car, Aston Martin.
Yeah, still not working, is it, between these two?
No.
Sparks flying everywhere, and now we're getting to the worrying set where Relax, everybody. You can probably go and have a cuppa for 5 laps or so, because we're into the tyre saving phase before the pit stops, and not really a lot's going to happen in this one. Verstappen leads out front. Norris is trying to close it down. The gap's already a second, so there's no DRS there. Russell and Piastri are battling. This time Russell's ahead, but no one can overtake into turn 1. Yeah, go and have a cuppa. I'll shout you if something happens. Okay, bye. There's nothing. It's really bizarre. And Lawson's past Stroll. So, yeah, Lance Stroll just continuing to be more and more useless in this event.
Why is Stroll in Formula 1?
Cash.
I think there's a big answer, and its name is Lawrence Stroll. He's invested way too much money in his son Lance to not give him a clumsy Aston Martin, especially with Adrian Newey supposedly designing some kind of monster car for 2026 with the Honda engine. So, yeah, it would be. I think he's had his moments, hasn't he? He got pole position in that for Istanbul 2020 in those sort of drying, wet conditions. No, it was just full wet conditions, wasn't it? So he's certainly got some talent, and I think people who just say he bought his way to Formula 1 and, you know, didn't win anything on the way are ignoring that he did actually. Okay, he had one of the best teams in Prima in F3, but I think I feel like Lance gets. He's rightly criticised when he makes mistakes, but I think people they make it personal sometimes, and that's when I kind of draw the line, I think. Whereas I think if he's a bad driver and there's other drivers that aren't getting the seat in, like Felipe Drugovich, for instance, I can completely understand why people are fans of Felipe Drugovich. I'm more annoyed with Drugovich for why you hang around as a test driver Aston Martin when there's never going to be a seat open for you. And there we go. Penalty for Lance Stroll, right as I finish that passionate defence of his character. So I guess the stewards disagreed that Lance is a naughty boy and he deserves every bad thing that's said around him.
And he's out of the
Wow! Commentators, Kurz, Ed Hudson, welcome. Welcome.
Just like, okay, you've got a 10-second time penalty. Retire the car.
Sorry, Lance, we gotta wrap it up now. Let's take the front wheel.
Like, you're not winning anyway. Just come in.
We're not laughing at Lance Stroll there. We're laughing at the fact he's not retired the car. He's gone straight out again.
You were told to retire.
He can't even retire the car.
I'm down on the flat. Wait a minute.
There's one driver that can disobey team orders. It is Lance Stroll.
Next.
With no consequences.
What?
There's a lack of something there.
No.
A time penalty.
Oh yes, Megan's right. They had a 10-second time penalty. They haven't served that.
Yeah. Where is the time penalty? Because it definitely was officially announced, and they would have been told before it was officially announced. So where was the time penalty?
She's right.
Megan, I figured out exactly what's happened here. Lance Stroll knows cannot retire from the race without serving the time penalty first. So the strategy is don't serve the time penalty.
Believe it, man. 2 years with the same problem on the straights.
Aston Martin.
Here's an idea. Switch teams.
Aston Martin is having... Alonso is now been noted for rejoining unsafely at turn 14.
When?
Aston Martin are having a calamity here today.
Biggest flop.
Right, here's Lando Norris. Well, I presume we're going to look ahead to Max, or is he going to make a mistake on his own at turn 4? He makes a mistake on his own at turn 4.
Yeah, he just holds it.
Gap's down at 1.8 seconds. Just runs wide.
A lot of gravel there, isn't there, even before he shows up?
When did Alonso leave the track? Oh, here.
There he is.
Oh, I think he got forced off. What's the unsafe for?
Yeah, it's not his fault.
Well, he rejoined
False
and then
start,
Magnussen was sort of unsighted there, wasn't he?
Hamilton's jumped the start. Hamilton's been noted for a false start.
Kidding.
Well, he lost 2 places on the start. How's that happened?
Is everyone okay today?
It does feel like everybody's...
It says false start. It might be he wasn't in the box correctly rather than him necessarily jumping the red lights.
Oh, actually...
Oh, Stroll's in the pits again.
That's to retire this time. Ed's right with that point.
Okay, he might have actually jumped the start.
Let's have a look.
He moved that way, didn't he?
Lights on, lights on, lights on. And yeah, he's jumped the start.
Yes.
Ah. So frustrating because he just crawled forward a little bit.
Sorry about that, guys.
And he knew it. He knew it immediately. That'll be a time penalty then for the race.
10 seconds. 10 seconds.
Yeah. That's the box standard, yeah. Well, Qatar's certainly living up to its unusual name of this race. They are really trying. And there's Lance Stroll out of the Grand Prix then.
Where's your time penalty, Lance?
He served it. He came into the penalty. As Ed said, he came in.
No, he didn't.
He did. We cut to it too late.
I mean, he could do it again just to make Megan satisfied, but I think Paul Lance has suffered enough in this one.
I didn't, because I didn't. So what happened if he didn't serve it when he retired? Is it a grid penalty for the next race?
Yeah.
I think, yeah, it does carry through if you don't serve it, which is why there was a couple of years ago, wasn't there, a race where Perez was involved in an incident and knew he was going to get a penalty, so even though he was miles behind, they'd retired him. They put him back on track so he could serve the penalty and then retire again, re-retire the car.
Yeah, Japan, I remember. And this is now under investigation by the stewards. This is Tsunoda and forcing off the circuit, Kevin Magnussen. Bottas and Lawson are under investigation for causing a collision. I won't be surprised.
Today.
Yeah, I won't be surprised if Tsunoda is going to be under investigation for forcing Magnussen wide, but Magnussen did make the pass.
That day we're the only people actually driving sensibly of Ferraris, Max.
I think that was
Lando
Tsunoda trying to
and
get
Piastri.
past Magnussen, wasn't it? I thought that was actually really bold of him. It's a shame it didn't work out, but sort of thing Magnussen would usually do, pushing someone off track,
The
isn't
top
it?
7 are the only ones driving normally. Everyone else is like, what the?
And here comes Gasly on the inside, but Tsunoda goes defensive. These two, of course, VCarb and Alpine battling for the Constructors' Championship as well, over 6th position. Tsunoda has the last point with Gasly 11th. For comparison, Vegas had a total of 4 race control messages throughout the race. We've already got 1, 2,
I'm still
3,
writing.
4, 5, 6, 7, about
8.
9.
9!
Tsunoda moving on the braking.
And it's a 10-second time penalty for Liam Lawson for causing a collision. And Gasly's now reporting Tsunoda for moving late onto braking. He's just been in trouble with Magnussen. Whatever the drivers have had, the drivers haven't had Weetabix Day, they've had ketamine.
It seems like it.
There's Abby Pulling, the 2024 F1 Academy champion. What is going on today?
I'm still annoyed that we only had one F1 Academy race.
Lance is not as bad as Mazepin, says Paul.
Brilliant.
That's true. Liam Lawson! There we go, we already had that confirmed. Yeah, Ed, you're right. There's a lot of gravel. Exit turn 3.
Gasly.
Radio.
I jumped on the brake because otherwise I was going to smash him. Okay, mate.
That's going to get
It sounds like Gasly being a drama queen there on the radio, because they didn't look anywhere near that close to the back of Tsunoda for my money.
Anyone
But
else?
there we go.
This race feels like it's suddenly ramping up quite quickly, actually. I thought we were in for a dull period.
It's you!
Yeah.
You said the next 5 minutes nothing's going to happen. I have had nothing but writing.
Norris and Verstappen, 2 seconds between them, but look at Piastri right in the DRS zone still with Russell, but it's further down. I say that the top teams are sort of battling okay. They're all inside each other. Then you've got Perez and Hamilton, and then you've just got calamities down from 9 onwards. Stroll's out, Ocon's out, Colapinto's out, time penalties coming in for Lawson and for who else? Oh, Stroll had one, but he's out of the race.
And we know that Colapinto, based on what Marco says, is not going to have a seat next season. So, you know, it's going to be a poor gong. It's between Perez and Lawson on who's going to get what seat at the moment.
I love how Colapinto has already caused more damage in 7 races for Williams than Logan Sargent did in 14.
Yeah.
Scored more points, though.
He has scored more points,
Yeah.
but that helps.
Priorities.
That helps for money, but the money they'll gain from
He's
being
earning it
high,
back.
Yeah, but the money they'll gain from being high in the Constructors' Championship has been lost by him crashing.
In fairness, Albon did it
No,
too.
no,
Oh, and
Magnussen-
another.
Noted.
Right, so that's now been flashed. Oh my god, we're going to need a second page at this rate.
Yep, we are.
Right.
I disagree with you there, Josh. Williams lost money in the Constructors' Championship because Alpine got that double podium in Brazil where they made the bold call to stay out before the red flag.
What we can see, Verstappen's tyres similar to ours. Russell
Double
behind,
move.
slightly worse than ours.
Fantastic round the outside
Look
from
at that.
Gasly. That was brilliant from Pierre, and I thought I saw Tsunoda moving twice there. Gasly's lap time's been deleted, so has Magnussen for track limits.
For a minute, I thought I was going to have to write something else. Every time I finish writing, there's another thing I have to write.
Well,
Under investigation.
Oh, you're gonna be
Lewis
joking
Hamilton
me.
for false start.
Lewis Hamilton now under investigation for that false start. We already have been noted. Be careful with the desk. We don't want to lose Wi-Fi. This is Joe. Yeah, well,
That's
okay.
the Lawson incident.
What do you think, Ed?
I think Lawson deserved that penalty because he just lost control and hit Valtteri Bottas there off track. Oh, and so lucky he didn't back into him as well. So Liam
He
did
was
actually
so
work.
lucky he wasn't even out of the race.
exactly.
Nearly in the gravel as well. Oh, once, twice. Gravel right there.
It was like he was threatening Valtteri.
Yeah, what was I saying? Oh, yeah. Yeah, but the V car, I think Lawson just needs to sort of stay in the race and hopefully try and catch up to the back of Hulkenberg, who we know that lead house has had a lot of troubles compared to Magnussen's one all weekend. As we look at Lewis, right on the back of Perez, but unfortunately he's got a drive-through penalty, almost certainly the 10-second stop penalty added to his pit stop. As we see Alonso going for Tsunoda. Oh, very, very close. Surely Fernando's not going to get the overlap. But in fact, he does so. And immediately proves me wrong. So you don't need straight line speed. You just need to be very, very brave and go already outside of Tsunoda.
We've had track limits at turn 1 on lap 10, which was 3 laps ago when you passed Tsunoda.
He pushed me out there.
Yeah, it's just track limits at the moment, but it is under investigation.
And Lewis Hamilton has been given a 5-second time penalty for a false start. Don't you start on British bias. To be fair, that should have been a 10-second penalty. That's the rule.
Yeah.
Or a drive-through. 5 seconds is not the precedent there.
Favoritism. He's been in here longer. So the other two get
Look,
10.
there's been a problem. Look, Team LH, you're already going to say about that's a harsh penalty. And
No further.
Yeah, Alonso no further. Yeah, but the
Well,
Dutch.
it was lenient.
Anyone who isn't British is now going to say that is British bias. I'll tell you what. All I can say to that is bull. I'm sorry, but there is no British bias in the FIA control room, considering Mohammed Ben Sulayem just wants to get rid of everybody who disagrees with him. If anything, there's Saudi bias in this championship.
Ben Sulayem was from the UAE.
He's Saudi Arabian.
Oh, he is he? Okay.
Yeah, he's Saudi Arabian.
Yeah.
He definitely raced for like Emirati. Oh, here we go, Alonso. No, that's Joe. Sorry.
Yes!
Wow.
Zhou
my
Guan Yu's made
goodness.
an overtake! Somebody note that down!
For 12th!
Zhou Guan Yu back to where he qualified, and let's not forget he has a 100% points record here in Formula One. Finished 9th here last year. Can he get the... Yeah,
Bottas is closing up too.
Can we get the first points for Sauber this year? What's been a miserable year for them?
Let's not jinx it.
1-11, 2-11. That's it. Well, actually, yeah, their highest is only 11th in either car. Really
And if
shocking.
Bottas finishes 11th, he will beat Logan Sargent in the Drivers' Championship.
Crucial for him.
The battle to not finish last, yes.
Well, Bottas is 23rd.
Great line speed on that Sauber.
Yeah.
Tsunoda's
Compared to
thinking,
the
what's
V-car, the V-car was standing still there.
Oh, that already came through, yeah. We've just been told for the second time that Alonso's okay. It's lap 16 and 57. We've been on for 25 minutes and all hell is breaking loose.
Tsunoda.
Certainly outside the top 10.
They are pushing 100%, bro.
I know, man. Hang in there. Hang in there.
Oh, and yet you still can't pass Joe.
Yuki Tsunoda rehearsing for the movie that Netflix is going to make about his life in 10 or 15 years' time, he hopes.
Dear Nat, I hope you're joking there. Let's go, Lando, you British legend. Okay, that British bias I will accept because that is supporting a driver.
It's not wishing ill on anybody else.
No, exactly, that's fine. Support, just don't wish ill.
You're not commentating, you're allowed to show as much bias as you want.
Exactly, you are.
Unless you're me, and then you just wish everyone would crash, or just at least someone. And I've got that wish.
Look, I've already got rid of Logan Sargent, and I'm trying to go to Lance Stroll. There's a couple I've got rid of this year. Danny Rick.
Okay, the only thing I'm biased in favour of human rights. It doesn't seem to be popular around these parts either in Qatar, so...
I'm biased in favour of chaos.
I'm surprised you're here.
I know, right? I guess I was bored. Nothing else to do. I had 4 million next week, so... Oh no, I got stickers to do. I haven't got completely nothing else to do, but yeah.
And I started to point out, oh no, Piastri snaps at the last corner, runs wide. Avoids the curb, and that's lost him time. He still keeps some DRS, but he's stuck behind Russell.
That was sturdy air from the back of Russell, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That caused that.
Yeah. I'm surprised Russell hasn't got on the radio to say see you later.
This is the third time in a row that Norris has had the fastest lap. I thought his tyres were going.
Gap now down to 1.6 seconds. He's got it down by 0.3 over the last 3 laps. This is what happened. Oh, yeah, well, oversteer. Yeah, just snap. Dirty air, dead. did well for that not to loop round. There's a wind down at that part of the circuit. Let's listen. Yeah, downshift and turn.
He would have been done for if he had that curb.
Yeah, and if he picked up the acceleration as well, the car would have gone whoop.
It's interesting that AWS have an oversteer mistake, a specific graphic that they were waiting to use for that specific moment. It's like, did they have one?
They use it quite a few times this weekend.
Must be new.
Leclerc.
Check pressures, tire pressures. The way I drive, picture is likely.
Pressures are fine, Charles, for now. Pressures are fine.
Now this time...
Well then.
Leclerc critiquing himself, saying he drives too heavily.
Penalty in 5 laps then.
Yep.
Yeah, I think if the Ferrari engineer is telling Charles Leclerc that his tyres are fine, that's a sign that he's almost certainly going to get a punch before the end of the race. We're going to see a repeat. Well, the curbs have been sanded down, I think, since the 2020 race, where Bottas and a couple others had front punches, didn't they?
Oh, thank God. No further actions with Tsunoda and Magnussen.
Haas are being told, Magnussen and Hülkenberg, watch the tyres through turns 12, 13 and 14. Punctures are likely.
Especially if you're near Leclerc.
We saw that with Russell and Bottas in 2021.
Let's hear from George Russell. He's had something to say over team radio.
Balance at low speed is okay. It's just the high speed turn 2, 4, 5 is pushing out.
Yeah, okay, so
I didn't really understand.
that's some oversteer problems through the right-hand side.
No,
of
he's
the surface.
washing out. That sounds like understeer.
Ah, okay.
Either
I
that
thought
or
he said
doing some
oversteer.
washing.
Yeah. Let's take a listen to Sergio Perez now. This is just confirmed.
Yeah, I'm happy with the diff setting now.
Diff setting is good for Perez, and he has actually gained a second over Hamilton now, so that's about enough time. Charles Leclerc's radio message. Hear that again.
Let's check pressures, tire pressures. The way I drive, picture is likely.
Pressures are fine, Charles, for now. Pressures are fine.
Yeah, I wanted to check if there's anything at the exit of that, because usually our pit lane channel gets more radio than what you hear on the world feed.
What are you expecting Charles to say in response? No, you're bloody wrong.
Yeah, or maybe something in Spanish.
Yeah.
Well, that's more Carlos. That's more Carlos.
How slow we compare to the others? So front runners are mid-25s. Mid-25s. It's a second.
Well, actually, Verstappen's just done a 1:25.079. Hamilton was a 1:26.2. Last lap was a 1:26.4.
What is happening with Hamilton?
Perez's time is apparently a happy time, according to Hamilton. 26.2.
Does look like a bit of a sellout crowd there, doesn't it? They are packed there in the background. At turn 2,
Yeah,
3.
that's great. That's great to see.
Wind rotated, tailwind, turn 2.
Yeah, it's not looking good. Oh, Alonso's been maybe track limits corner for Gasly. So they're having a go there. So Gasly's broken track limits. Piastri did get a lap completed and has been warned about that he's now on 2 out of 3 strikes.
Uh-oh.
So penalty likely for him. Lap 20 of 57. 38 laps to go. Changes that go over. Verstappen leads with Norris second, Russell third, Piastri fourth. Leclerc is fifth, Sainz sixth. Big gap then to Perez and Hamilton. Bigger gap then it's Magnussen and Gasly together. Then it's Alonso, Zhou, and then we've got Tsunoda, Bottas, Albon, Hülkenberg in a little battle with Lawson from behind. Here's Norris.
Fernando, tyre update so far, tyres as per model. Yeah, I'm pushing flat out, so I feel like I'm killing them, but they seem okay-ish.
He didn't seem as...
Yeah, and they're going to go plan A. We've just read on the radio chart here. So they're going to wait for the safety car window to come open. As now we're going to see Zhou Guanyu. Oh no, this is about to be Bottas going around the outside of Tsunoda down to turn 1. And he's got him. Sauber half pace. Brilliant job as Bottas moves up to 13th place then. Come on, Sauber.
Sauber's on fire.
They just look so drained by the end of the season. They're surprised to see their cars moving forward. You've got to feel for Sauber a little bit there, the season they've had. But it's great to see them just finally in a semi-competitive situation. Obviously, there's still 3 seconds between Zhou and Alonso and then another 2 seconds between Alonso and Gasly, so they're about 5 seconds off the final point at the moment. But you never know. If people ahead of them get punches, if a couple people get the strategy wrong, there's every chance Sauber can move up. And I wonder if they might try and stretch the medium stint really long with either Bottas or Joe and hope for a late safety car.
Well, Bottas finished 8th here last year. His first finish at the circuit after a puncture with Mercedes back in 2021 forced him to retire from the Grand Prix. And then Joe Granier, as I said, finished 9th. So it was a double point score finish for Sauber here 12 months ago. 13 months ago, I should say. We came here earlier than this. In fact, were we even here in November? We were here early. It was October, wasn't it? Yeah, so 14 months ago. Wow, long time since we were last in Qatar for Formula 1. Different, of course. It's moved because the driver said if you put it this time we'll revolt. Or was that just vomit? It was very hard, of course, at first. Yeah. Then again, you don't want to see what happens to people in Qatar who revolt. Political.
Yeah. An F1 driver revolution. I don't think we've seen that since they were going to raise the. They were going to restrict the driver licenses, so you had to sign up to any team for any contract. You had to sign up to the same team for like 5 or 10 years or something.
Yeah.
Driver. That was South Africa '82. They went on strike and decided, well, if we're going to be lumped with these outrageous contracts that pay us less to stay at a team for longer than we actually want to, then we're not going to race at all. And eventually they had to relent in the end, but they were like hanging out in like a hotel somewhere and playing piano and sort of doing a sleepover, which is kind of hilarious. There's Bottas doing some grass cutting.
Technically, we did see a mini driver revolt a couple of months ago with Max and his refusal to say anything.
Yeah.
A one-man army, yeah. A one-man mute army.
GPDA have actually put that statement out, of course, saying directly to the FIA president that we're adults, treat us like adults, we're not kids. Mohammed Ben Salam has actually said today, with an interview with John Noble from motorsport.com, that I run the FIA, I run it how I want to run it, and frankly, the drivers can just concentrate on driving. We don't ask them who changes in their team. Why should we have to tell them who changes in the FIA? And frankly, they should just stick to driving. So very much...
I think he said it was none of their business, didn't he?
Yes, that was it, yeah.
It reminds me of... reminds me of that old Pierce Brosnan film where he plays the villain. I think it's called like... I forget, it's an Irish film, basically. And like, there's a journalist staying in his house, and he's like, "Oh, what goes on in this town is none of your business." And she's like, "Well, as long as I'm living here, it is." And then Pierce Brosnan just shouts at her, "Well, maybe you shouldn't be living here." That's what it felt like for now. Been just like the last couple of years. It's like whenever there's any pushback, it's like, "Well, you can leave any time you want."
Yeah, he's gained a lot of time on Russell.
Had that DRS down to
went off track again as well.
Yeah.
Lando swore in press conference yesterday.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Lando did swear in the press conference.
Yeah.
What did he say? SH?
Well,
Yeah.
he's going to get community service.
He couldn't think of a word.
So he said.
Yeah.
Treat them
like... wait, he's not going to get community service. He's not Max Verstappen.
Yeah, that's true.
I think Charles got away with it as well, because Charles was describing something about his car and he got reprimanded, but he didn't get the same community service punishment.
Yeah.
I think because Max was doing it deliberately at a certain point.
Oh, right, okay.
After he'd been warned not to.
Russell went wide, and Piastri got a snap as well.
He went really deep in the curve, did Piastri.
He followed suit.
That's a nice little move. Hello to Ribosome who's watching. Welcome back, my friend. Haven't seen you in a while. Hope you're doing well. McLaren, of course, says DNR says just wants the Constructors' Championship here today. At the moment, I'm not sure.
It's not going to happen.
No, there's not enough points gap between them. McLaren needed a first and second.
Yeah, McLaren will be on 653 points. Ferrari 611.
Yeah, I thought it was box because George just went wide coming out of turn 14 and he's coming straight into the pit lane. So Russell pits. I don't know if Amy's got his mic on. Not too sure about that, but we'll head down. Hard tyres. Oh no, it's slow rear! Slow rear right tyre for Russell, and that's cost him what should have been a 2-second stop. He's now 7 seconds. He's behind Hamilton.
And it was like a 5-second penalty added on, it looked like.
Is he going to head over? He's going to come out behind Magnussen, Gasly, and just alongside Alonso. And Alonso gets through at 1. Yeah. Oh! Bang on the steering wheel from George
Hamilton.
there.
Undone.
How far are we off the front now?
So 1.2 to the front.
Is the car broken or just...
We're just underbalanced by the look of it, Lewis, just underbalanced.
That's Lewis.
Yes.
That gravel's not good at 4. Well, if there's team bias there, you can't really deny that. Watch this as it comes in then. What do you think, Ed?
No, sometimes pit crews under a lot of pressure just make mistakes. It's not like, oh, we like one driver over the other. But look at the rear left.
It was stuck.
Rear right. Yeah, they couldn't get it off.
The wheel now, yeah, it could get it off. Oh, it happens around Qatar. You know, I'm going to predict something, you're going to hate me for it. I wonder if it's going to happen to the Saubers.
Oh,
God.
You're evil.
Effectively,
That's me saying this.
Start
Earlier this
like
season,
this.
yeah. And it was equipment, because Sauber had like really, really old wheel guns or something, didn't they?
Hadn't
So
changed.
that was the reason why the pits were so slow.
Yeah, hadn't changed since 2016, neither Sauber or Haas. Haas are actually still using equipment from their first ever race in Australia.
Huh.
Back in 2016, yeah. Wheel gun, fuel rigs, loads of things.
It should be like Formula E, it should give a prize to the most efficient team.
12.
Like,
Yeah. You're green. There you go. You're fine. Ferrari currently 12 points. McLaren are outscoring Ferrari by.
Here comes a Sauber.
Right. If Jess is right, she's getting fired by Sauber. Let's have a look. It's a good stop. Oh, but Bottas was slow away. It was a 2.4 second stop, but he was slow away.
Why do you do these things, Jeff?
that's not going to cost him that much, because the pit lane speed limit is quite low, remember? So that was like maybe half a second of him struggling to, for some reason, engage the throttle.
Why do you like cursing with Saubers, Jess? What do they do to you? What did Bottas do?
Well, it's happened before. I wanted to raise a point.
Does this have anything to do with the lady at the F1 Esports Women's Series that you were fighting with that was in the Sauber at Silverstone that you didn't quite get past at the end?
Hannah.
Is this revenge?
No, it wasn't Hannah. Hannah was in the Alpine.
It was whoever is in the Sauber. I can't remember the name off the top of my head.
Okay.
I apologise.
There was nothing to do with her. It's just I'm going after previous facts of tracks like this, Bahrain.
Okay.
So yeah.
Yeah, the hot conditions and of course night race temperatures, they're roughly similar here. Similar time of year as well in this season. So track temperature 22.6, air temperature 18.8. So it's cooler than what we usually have. As we now see our first range of pit stops coming in. They want to take the mediums, as Ed said earlier, as long as possible. And we're not going to see too much of the hard tyres. It looks like everyone's just going to try and do the one-stopper.
We're 40 laps in. I mean, not 40 minutes in.
Yeah.
And 26 laps in.
Safety car didn't cost us too much time then, thankfully.
Yeah, it didn't take that long for the track to be clear.
I thought we might be, when we saw them stationary, I thought, well, if they're in the centre of the track, knowing this place, it'll be a stoppage. But it's not designed.
I thought it would have been a red flag.
Yeah, well, they've done a lot of work in this last year. Because if you remember last year, when we had safety cars in Formula 2, do you remember in Formula 2, we had a car stuck in the gravel, but because the barriers weren't big enough to get tractors and big JCBs out onto the circuit, they had to go over for about 5-10 minutes driving the other way. Because this is a MotoGP circuit, the barriers were too small. They couldn't get the big JCBs out because, of course, in MotoGP, you don't need that. You can just pick the bike up, push it behind.
Hamilton.
The car's slowly beginning to turn up, but not much.
Copy loose, yeah, start to see that now.
So Hamilton's got a problem in that Mercedes as we now see Russell trying to have a go on Alonso with the DRS. Looks to the inside at 1. Alonso closes the door. But yeah, so they've done a lot of work here in Qatar, just widening the access points here to minimise the amount of delay needed.
Well, why was there delay earlier then?
Oh, they're just incompetent still.
I love that radio message from Lewis, by the way. It's like the car's just starting to beginning to turn now, and it makes it sound like he's still at turn 1 of the race.
And George Russell has just said on radio the car has just not turned.
Oh, right, okay. So we've got...
That's kind of mixed messages there.
Mercedes don't know what on earth is going... This generation, they have not had a Scooby. They cannot...
I mean, like a Subaru Impreza?
They haven't had a clue, Scooby-Doo.
Okay, right.
They haven't had a clue since majority of their team moved over to rival teams.
Yeah. Red Bulls knocked them up. It's quite a lot of the teams have actually got them as well. Anthony says, sore throats for you guys tonight. No pain, no gain, thank you. Yeah, a lot of action. It's just... Oh, hang on, who's in the pit lane? Someone's coming down pit lane. I can't see. It's Magnussen. Magnussen down pit lane. Russell's got DRS again and Alonso towards that first corner. Don't think it's far enough. It's not. Russell then in 10th. Zhou back to 11th. Zhou Guanyu is going to be running inside points paying positions here, but still yet to make a stop. Woo! Slow stop for Magnussen. 2.9, yeah, slow. There's a fly alongside me and Megan in the commentary box that went... It's coming right toward me. Go away.
That won't go away.
Yeah, the thing I've noticed recently is that flies have got a lot more brave.
Yeah. This is Hamilton with the car turning.
They used to just run away, or fly away from us as soon as we went near. Now they just... It's like they want to fight us.
Oh, massive... And that's a brilliant save from Hamilton. Coming out of turn 3. Oversteer.
That's because of his experience.
Yeah, just able to hold it back there and not loop it around. Nicely held.
That could very easily have been a Liam Lawson style spin, couldn't it? But
Yeah.
Hamilton just about caught it. Still, not a great sign because it shows how difficult the rear end of that car is to balance at high speed. The Mercedes just about struggling. You can tell Russell, now he's not got the grip of the mediums, is really just stuck behind Alonso right now.
Where is it? Oh, there. So
Just ignore what I said.
Sorry,
yeah, let's focus on this fly.
I've got a headphone on me, but there's a giant bumblebee-sized fly flying right between me and Megan. Right, back to the action then.
Will it just land?
Here comes Russell. Goes to the inside line. Alonso again. It's just not in the braking zone.
Alonso can just act like he's not there and turn in.
Yeah.
So nothing George can do about it.
There we go. Where's the... If you're listening to us on radio, we'll say we're listening to Russell. We're not. As they fly in.
Fly.
There we go. Oh, yeah, I didn't realise I did that.
A creative new thing.
I saw Hayes Hulkenberg then coming through.
Yellow
flag. Sector 1. Double yellow sector 1. That's where Verstappen and Norris are coming through, but there's nothing there.
Debris, I think. It must be debris.
Yellows again. But there's... It's
debris, Josh. It's debris.
Yeah, it's confusing.
They're really just love clearing the track and then waving the yellow again. They seem to, okay, let's just turn the graphic off. It's not working.
There's a mirror.
It's a Mercedes wing mirror. It's a Mercedes wing mirror.
So what is this? Where's it come from? No, Lewis is fine.
Well, there's one of them, Mercedes.
There's a wing.
Like
George. Is it? I can't.
I know it's not a Mercedes wing mirror.
I can't see it.
It's not.
Oh, it's broken.
It's not.
Left-hand side.
It's not Russell. It's not. Is it Hamilton? Hang on a minute. I need Hamilton's on board.
It can't be Russell because it's turquoise, right? And it's the same with Lewis's Mercedes.
I'm
also,
having
one of the other cars.
It's not Lewis.
Aston. I think it's the Aston.
I'm having a look at Fernando Alonso's mirror.
Nice.
And I'm pretty sure you're going to tell me where to go, but if you had any pace to get... Speak louder, please. You'll tell me where to go, but if you had any pace... If you had any pace to Verstappen, we'd take it, push up to him.
I think it's a Sauber. It's not Zhou. I'm having a look at Bottas.
Josh, speak louder, please.
It's Albon. There.
Because that's what Albon. There we go. It's the Williams struggling for parts. They've just screwed on the wing mirror using whatever screws they've got from Brazil and Las Vegas.
Ferrari are responding into the... No, they've gone through. Never mind. Well, that's illegal. You're not allowed to do that. You're not allowed... Well, hang on a minute. So you're telling me
They're switching positions.
In Las Vegas, they said box, stay out, we're not ready. And now they're saying stay out, but they're ready in the box. What's
Switch
going
position
on?
red.
So they are changing positions, but the gap's 2 seconds. That's not good.
Track slippery.
So that's in sector 2. Albon, it is his mirror. It's flown off. We can see it on the onboard camera. We've got to put it in the commentary box as well. Norris.
Lando did not lift on brakes.
Verstappen's on undercut now. Threat from Norris.
I think what happened there was Ferrari were expecting a virtual safety car for Albon's wing mirror.
Yeah.
And they were very confused by the yellows coming in and out constantly for that.
We did.
So once it became clear it was green flags, the Ferrari guys went back in. So I think
check if you lifted for the yellow. There was a yellow in the middle of the straight.
Yeah, there was. We'll have a look. Make sure he lifted.
I'm assuming.
Oh, and is that an oil flag? That's not a yellow. Max, it's not yellow, it's oil flag.
He's still talking.
And Max is lifted. Max is lifted again down that straight, but it's not a yellow flag, it's an oil flag. So Max wants to know if Lando lifted in the initial double yellow, but Max is lifting every time he goes down that straight. Well,
it's interesting. He's just fastest lap of the race as well, so it can't be that big.
Again. Well, don't forget, Ed, that the finish line is like 100 meters before that yellow flag board, so he can lift.
But he would have still lifted the previous lap.
Yeah, it's Marshall Point 2 that's activated. Marshall Point 2 and Marshall Point 3 are activated with the slippery surface flag. Marshall's point sector 1 where the flag line is, so he can still cross that line. But you're right, he's done a 1:24.4. Well, this is really confusing. They want a safety car. It's
weird.
It's clear. They've sent a marshal out in between the gap of traffic. Wow.
Apparently it's still there.
Well, we'll have a look and see if it is there when we get a car going through. 26 to go, lap 32 and 57. This race is just...
Oh, quickly.
Yeah, and it's bizarre as well what's going on. Hulkenberg boxes. Now he won't get benefit from a virtual safety car. That's a long way down as well. What times is he on?
He started on the hards.
Yeah. And
he's always on hards. Now he's on medium.
This is his second stop. Yeah, he started on hards, boxed again for contact with that puncture, put on another set of hards, now he's gone again. So now he's on mediums. So he's good to the end of the race, but is towards the back. And it's still there.
It is.
Well, why are they saying it's clear? Rui Marquez.
That would be for the slippery surface.
But it's the same thing.
But that's gone. It's clear.
But it's still, that wing mirror of Albon's is still in the centre of the track. That should be a safety car. Right, here's the Lando Norris. Did he lift under that yellow flag? It's the wrong flag. Look, no. Look, this is not it's not a yellow. It's a slippery surface flag. Watch Lando's...
If it was yellow, it would have been flashing.
Yeah.
But it was not.
It's stationary. Yeah, that's a slippery surface flag. It's not a yellow flag.
They've put the wrong flag out.
I think we've got the wrong graphic there from. I think they're showing the wrong image from lap 30. So it was never...
He would also have got warning on his wheel, wouldn't he?
Yes, it would have flashed up on his wheel yellow. That's what I was saying. If it was a yellow flag, it would flash yellow. But if it's a slippery surface flag, which is a yellow and red striped flag, that's permanently on.
Is that why most of the drivers are staying out, hoping that a safety car will be called out of all of this?
Yeah, it'll be as virtual. We won't need a full safety car. It would be virtual. Max done a 1:20. Well, Lando's now lost 2 seconds on the last lap.
Gasly's being
bloody hell.
Norris has gone for being...
That's just happened pumping in the time zone, isn't it?
Yeah, he's thinking... Is he thinking virtual safety car, though? Oh! And there'll be a safety car now, because getting out of the way, down the start-finish straight, one of the Saubers has run over it.
Bottas.
And has smashed it across the track. Now this will be a safety car. Rui Marquez, I know you're underworked, but you should have been a virtual safety car for that. And now, that is a real problem for Valtteri Bottas.
It's glass that could get into tyres.
Well, Bottas dropped down to 17th.
Yeah, watch, he's whacked it. So he gets out of the way.
He had some sort of issue beforehand, yeah.
Yeah, he's been given command blue. So it's a blue flag to get out of the way, and he's run over it. Rui Marquez, I'm sorry, that should have been... And Hamilton's got a puncture. Hamilton's got a puncture from it. Hamilton has got a puncture from it. The tyres exploded because he's run over the debris. Rui Marquez, you have just caused that. Yeah,
it's with Marquez. Safety car.
This This is ridiculous organisation.
Where's the yellow?
Well, we've had that before from you.
Wait. I'm trying to find the soundboard.
So we need a safety car. It's not coming. Hamilton's now got a puncture. How reminiscent of Bottas is that?
Wait.
And now we've got a puncture! Puncture! Sainz has got a puncture! Sainz has got a puncture! Sainz has got a puncture as well! Through goes Perez!
Same side!
Piastri's in the pit lane as well! The tyres are giving out! We might need a red flag here! Oh wow, this is going nuts! Piastri boxes!
Where's the red?
Well, this is like Silverstone in 2013. The tyres are just exploding out of nowhere. Have they pushed it too long? Is the debris on the track starting to cause a factor? No yellow flag, no safety car. Rui Marquez.
Pit lane entry.
Pit lane entry's got damage as well.
It's got compromised.
And Verstappen's been told box as well. This needs to be a safety car. And Ferrari can't get the jack up for Sainz. They're having to lift the car to get the hard tyre on. The Qatar Grand Prix has exploded into chaos, and it is rude by Rui Marquez not putting out the virtual safety car to collect an intact wing run. Valtteri Bottas has run over it, and now we are having punches galore. Wow!
Pit lane entry is compromised.
Safety car!
Safety car, finally!
Pit lane entry is compromised.
Yeah, so safety car's out again.
Glass is strewn upon it.
And this is perfect for Verstappen and Norris. No, it's perfect for Verstappen and Norris. They haven't made their pit stop yet. Neither has Leclerc.
Hamilton.
Yeah, just means I have this luck.
It's not.
Well, it's
Lewis
really...
got to said 10-second penalty as well for jumping the start.
Yeah, 15 seconds lost on the safety car, so Lewis gets going again. Verstappen's done a 2.5 second stop. Norris comes in as well. He's responded. He'll drop behind, but Lewis never ran down. No, Lewis did. Did he? No, he had 5 seconds. Lewis served that penalty, then he had to get the debris off. Norris, 3.3 seconds. In comes Charles Leclerc. He'll move over to the hard tyres as well, and then slow stop again for Ferrari. But it is now 2.7. Look like they had a problem on the rear left. It's okay. So already, and look at that. It's put Zhou into 9th place, exactly where he was last year.
But Joni still needs to stop.
What on earth has happened in the Qatar Grand Prix? I think if I was Mohammed Ben Sulayem and in a firing mood, I think Rui Marquez might be just fine. That's more dangerous than what Niels Rittich did with delaying a red flag for chaos. Yeah, for delaying a red flag for what we had in Sao Paulo. Niels Rittich was fine for that. Rui Marquez has just dramatically changed the race up because he didn't make sure the track was safe. We've had 2 punctures as a result of it. He's made it worse. Science Radio.
Made it worse, yeah.
It's all okay with the front left tire. It doesn't feel okay. Copy. I'll be 8. Very severe damage.
George
Russell boxes for a new set of hard tyres as well. The pit lane's coming alive. Alonso's in. 2.6 seconds for Russell. Zhou coming in as well. And in now as well comes Alonso, 2.7. Gasly, 3.2. And I don't think they were ready for Tsunoda to come in. There's debris at pit exit, as you say, Megan. It is compromised. And the drivers having to pick their way through the debris. And this is just ridiculous. Hamilton's had a lap time deleted, but that's because he went off the circuit for a puncture. And there's debris at turn 1, there's debris at turn 4. This might need
There's debris everywhere. Red flag.
Yeah, to be fair, they might need to stop this one just to clean the track up.
Yeah, just get a brush out there and just clean.
This is insanity.
I've had loads of rants today. Bloody hell. Megan, you should have seen my rant in F2 about F1 Academy. You would have been proud of me.
Good.
Safety
car through pit lane.
Piastri. Piastri pit right before the safety car was called.
And look, there's debris at the exit. There's debris at the exit at turn 14, Ed. Look at that. They're all going through carbon fibre. Safety car through the pit lane.
Wait a minute. How can they put safety car through the pit lane if the pit lane is also compromised?
Yeah, this isn't a smart idea, is it? Because pit entry and pit exit is also compromised.
Does that mean they can't pit?
Yes.
Why have we put hards on? Why have we put the hards back on, mate?
Oh. Well, look
Going off plan?
Look out for Alexander Albon. He's put the soft tyres on, and he knows
Probably not
that they're
good for
good.
glass.
Well, under the safety car, they'll be fine. Now, Russell's going to be hoping for a red flag here, because that will enable him to change tyres. Right, let's watch this again. So, Bottas moves over the circuit in front of Charles Leclerc. He runs over the debris, and then it all...
But he has to do that to let Charles through, because Charles is on the lap ahead.
And this is Hamilton.
Sainz gets it first, and then
Hamilton's car was already delaminating, and he runs over, and then it goes into one. Yeah. So Lewis was already crabbing before he entered, but
Lewis and Sainz were both in need of a pit stop.
Yeah, look, as soon as they run over, the tyres delaminate. Look, it's happened to both Sainz and to Hamilton. So as soon as they run over that debris, so Rui Marquez has just
killed the race.
Goodbye, Rui Marquez. 2 races with the race director. This is why we need experience in the FIA. This is their fault. This is the fault of Rui Marquez. Oh, and they dropped the car as well. The jack broke.
Well, that's just the Ferrari issue.
Yeah.
Because of the unbalanced nature of the car.
This is really
the FIA has just gone through a lot of controversy. Josh, can you do a rant about it on Grid tonight on Wednesday?
Oh, you're certain I will. And this is Russell. Oh, this isn't passing Alonso.
That wasn't under yellows, was it?
No, that was ages ago.
Why are we seeing that then?
No sign of the red flag yet.
For Christ's sake.
If there is one, it would really help Gasly because he's the one that's not pit in this.
Oh, wait a minute. If it's like... No, actually, no, it won't work.
19 points at the moment. McLaren are Constructors champions.
Look at the
30 versus 19, though.
Oh, wait, hang on. What's that? Well, hang on.
Lead of the championship.
Anything on that yellow flag? Or you can just go flat out through a yellow.
Literally just speaking about it now, Max. Stand by.
Oh, yeah, we even forgot about that. Did Norris...
it won't be decided today because it's the gap. They're outscoring Ferrari by 11.
Right,
yeah,
so
it needs to be 14. So basically, Piastri needs to get back past Leclerc.
Unsafe release for Fernando Alonso into the path of Nico Hülkenberg. Oh, no,
that would be a 5-second penalty or 10.
Yeah. That must have been just before the safety car.
What happened there, man?
I don't know.
That's under safety car.
Yeah, that is. Yes, it is.
Bloody hell. What is going on with this race, man?
Technically, Alonso should have let Hülkenberg through.
Well, personally, the safety car's come back in.
That
Oh, no!
unsafe.
Hamilton has
up.
just brake tested he's brake tested Norris in the pit lane.
Yes.
It's Norris.
Why is Hamilton? Hamilton's a lap down.
Norris is Norris has now locked up his tyres as Lewis brake tested it. Why did Lewis brake test Norris in the pit lane?
Oh my God.
This race is just insanity. So Norris now
The
has
only thing
flat
I can think
tyres.
of is maybe Lewis realised he was going a bit too quickly. He was under safety car speeds, but not under the pit lane speed limit. And
Hamilton's being 100%. He brake tested me.
Norris was directly behind him.
I think he would have known Norris was directly behind him, but he didn't know he was that close.
Megan's got it.
I can't see it now.
Oh, scroll down.
That's why I was speeding, because it was at the bottom of the screen.
There, Hamilton speeding 100. Yeah, 100%.
I locked both my fronts, potential double flat spot.
Right, let's have a look at it again. And I think we're going to have a radio as well. So the safety car comes into the pit lane. Max goes in. Lewis goes in. Lando goes in. It's safety car speeds. He just doesn't stop.
Hamilton speeding 100%.
Oh, yeah.
He just brake tested me again. I locked both my fronts. Potential double flat spot.
Safety car will use to start finish straight. Yeah, go on.
Yes, light.
Lap cars may now overtake the safety car.
That's Bottas and Hamilton.
Typical. But both either previous or current Mercedes drivers.
Joe Kwan using ninth, let's just say that. Don't know what time.
Joe's had a really good race.
Yeah. Well, he goes well here. So
you keep killing this.
Yeah. Well, I've criticised him quite a lot this year. I think I've got to take a chance to praise him for neutrality's sake. There's Franco Colapinto.
Thanking everything that he's already out.
Yes. This race is nuts, isn't it?
He's probably relieved that he doesn't have to deal with this madness.
We effectively have the sprint race left. 19 left after this one. And hang on, Norris has just gone through the debris. Oh, I'm so confused.
The first bit of debris doesn't look so bad. I think that's not necessarily mirror shards or anything. It doesn't look like it's anything that's going to puncture a tyre, potentially. Like, maybe that's a bit of polystyrene that either Hamilton or Sainz hit on the DRS or 180 meter boards or something.
Yeah. I am so confused in this race. So now they're going to clean the track up a bit, get some tyres. There's still some debris being flown up. Alpine are going to jump ahead of Haas in the Constructors' Championship, 57 to 52 points. So
due to Gasly alone.
Yes.
Gasly hasn't stopped. Gasly hasn't stopped though. So he will have to make a stop at some point if there's no red flag.
He has. Yeah, he stopped into the safety car. Oh, hang on.
Oh, okay. I'm just trying to figure out how he jumped up to 6th then. Ahead of. I know Russell obviously pit before the safety car.
He stopped.
He
But
stopped.
the ones who stayed out benefited.
Safety car is in this
I
lap.
think Gasly did start on the mediums. You're right, Jess.
Yeah,
I
he's.
apologise.
Yeah. So he did 35 laps on mediums, 1 lap on hards, 2 laps on hards, and then 3 laps on hard. Wait, well, how many hards has he got?
We've got through the pit lane, Jess. Remember, so that's going to.
The same set of hards.
Yeah. So we've been through the pit lane, which counts technically as a pit stop. So it's changed the results.
Oh, right.
That fly
Safety car's
is really... Give it to me. It's really like... I've had enough of it now. It's flying all around our desk stuff. Right, here we go again then. As I said, in the F2 race earlier on, when Oliver Behrman was in control of the safety car restart, he dropped it out of turn 15 and went pedal down straight away. Verstappen tried that and it nearly works, but I wouldn't be too surprised if he now wants to take the opportunity to lead them out in the last corner and go from there.
Right, there we go then.
So, safety car is coming in. We will head back to green flag running. Verstappen, Norris, Leclerc, Piastri, Perez, Gasly, Russell, Sainz, Zhou, Alonso, Magnussen, Tsunoda, Albon, Hulkenberg, Lawson, Hamilton, and now Bottas.
What's happened to
Perez?
What's happened to Perez?
Perez has dropped down the order. Perez has got something wrong.
Why are you stopping?
I don't know what's happened to Sergio Perez. Are we going to go back to Perez
be.
is stopping? Perez has now been passed by Hamilton and by Bottas. Something's happened to Perez. We'll see what it is in a second.
The AI transcript.
We go back to green flag running. He spun. Perez has spun. Perez has spun off the track.
You can't drink that anymore.
Perez has spun off the circuit and has stopped as we go back to green flag running. Norris going to go around the outside. Verstappen goes wheel to wheel. Norris has the advantage into the first corner. That's going to be very close. And they do bang wheels. They both run wide. And off the track goes Gasly. Verstappen leads. Norris second. And Leclerc takes her on the inside line. Ahead of Piastri. All sorts of...
Russell's up to 5th.
And look at this, we've got still side by side. Russell's having to defend again from the Ferrari of Sainz. Leclerc and Piastri going side by side. Sainz going through, having an advantage. Perez is out. Perez is out. This will be a safety car. He's stuck in second gear and he's right on the racing line.
He can get back.
Flag. Yellow flag. He's out. He stopped. Safety car's coming back out, guys.
He can get back though.
No, he stopped. He stopped for the circular Megan. He's pulled off. This will be a safety car.
Yeah, it's bound to be a safety car.
He stopped. He stopped. Safety
He lost
car.
drive.
Safety car's coming out. Yeah, he rear locked Ed.
Virtual safety car.
Right, okay, that now neutralises the race.
It's a very fast section.
Complete stop.
Oh, and now goes
Hulkenberg's
Hulkenberg.
out.
Hulkenberg's out at turn 9.
What happened there?
He's been hit by someone and he's gone into contact and he's in the gravel trap backwards at turn 10. And that's Perez and safety car, full safety car now.
Well, that didn't take long, did it?
What an oddly shamble race.
Oh my god.
I have never seen a
To me,
race. Go on.
Perez's car looked like it dropped out of gear or something. That didn't look like his fault at all.
No.
It looked like some kind of technical problem.
It's still saying it's now down. He lost drive. Perez lost drive. Okay.
So probably a drivetrain issue then.
There's nothing on Hulkenberg's AI stuff that is saying who he made contact with.
I think he's dropped it on his own.
Yeah, I think so. There was no one. Otherwise, he would have taken someone with him. Yeah, on George's radio, it says we got Hulkenberg at the gravel at turn 10. Yeah, it was himself.
Tsunoda and Lawson boxed, presumably for soft tyres. They're double stacking, may as well. And it is for soft
Liam's
tyres.
going to have to wait then.
Brand new softs going on. That's a good call from VCarb.
Tsunoda did it in the sprint race yesterday.
I don't think they've put the right tyres on.
Albon's made the same call as well in the previous safety car, didn't he?
Yeah.
He's got up to 11.
Albon's on the wrong tyre.
I think...
Actually, no, he's not. He's fine. He's fine. Snowden Lawson on fresh off, by the way.
Right, let's take a look at what happened to Perez with the sound. Oh.
Oh, God.
I don't know if he got hit or not.
No, he didn't. It cut out.
The gearbox?
I don't...
It was like he was twitching and then it cut out.
It's when he's recovering that it died.
Yeah. Lando Norris has been noted for failing to slow the yellow flags in the original
wasn't a
car.
flag.
And
look at Gasly. He did so well not to hit the back of Leclerc there. He just locked up all 4 tyres into the first corner. And he lost position to Russell, of course.
Great
What's
restart.
going on with the FIA? It wasn't a yellow flag. It was a slippery flag. Yeah.
Failing to slow the yellows. So, yeah.
It must have been a yellow that we didn't see.
Russell.
Oh, this is on the outside.
This is a viewpoint.
That's Gasly locked in the double lockout.
Yeah.
That was nearly a wipeout for George.
It was. Would have been the second time that a Alpine had done that today.
Anyone else noticing that this Grand Prix never fails to deliver chaos?
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Yeah. It's almost, it's almost like the FIA have deliberately been as incompetent to make the races as chaotic as possible because they don't want people to tune out now the Drivers' Championship's done. And this is Piastri's attempt to try and get past Leclerc, which didn't quite pan out. You saw he was trying to sort of strand Leclerc on the outside.
Under investigation for Norris.
Oh, no.
Oh, there we go.
I want to know if...
I don't find anything.
I want to know if Max...
I want to know which part of the race that happened.
Yeah, I do.
Because we saw the slippery flag, not the yellow.
I want to know if I want to see Max's on board. I want to know if he opened up that steering wheel to block Norris at exit 1. What happened to Hulkenberg anyway down at turn 10? We haven't seen that replay yet.
Here we go. Spun on the
Here it is.
He spun by himself in the gravel trap.
Oh, he lost it on exit. Wow.
That was quite close. Who did it?
Right tucked up behind Tsunoda, didn't he?
Yeah, it looked like it.
It won the Williamses.
Safety car's in this lap, Josh. Safety car's in this lap.
So that would be Albon he was behind, running in 12th, and just looped it. That's a Hulk error, I'm afraid.
Oh, please. I want Joe to get a point. Come on, Joe.
So Norris is under investigation for failing to slow under the yellow flags. We're heading back to green flag running any second now here. And is at what position am I in?
Currently P12. Car's messed up, mate.
I wonder.
So it's getting... What? So we're getting all set then for a restart race. Max Verstappen holding the outside. Pecker's trying to catch that fly, so ignore the background. Here we go again for Verstappen to bring us to a restart.
Messed up that previous restart, didn't he?
Yeah, he really did. And now we're going to see Norris get right on him as well. Look at that, he's crawling. That's too much. Norris is sticking to him like glue at the moment. Here we go. Back to green flag running. They're still warming up their tyres coming into that last corner. Look at how much Russell is getting there as well. Russell's on the back of Piastri as well as we get going back to green flag running. Right, down to turn 1. Norris under attack from Charles Leclerc. Verstappen's aced that restart with 15 laps to go. Norris has to go defensive. Here comes the Ferrari around the outside. Into turn 1. Can't get the traction. That was a good attempt.
Just going to hold this out and hope it.
Good attempt, and Zhou Guanyu is attacking Alonso. Albon's into 10th with those soft tyres, and Bottas falling up too.
Hamilton's lost positions.
Yeah, Lewis is struggling out there. Lewis is really struggling. Look, the car's dead. Lewis has been told to retire. His penultimate race with Mercedes ends. And of course, Norris still under investigation. So Lewis Hamilton effectively out of the Grand Prix.
Stop it going. Kevin, what are you talking about?
Well, I've lost track with what they're on about. Go on, Jess.
Piastri saying, check the front left. I can see sparks coming from it, and I have a vibration.
Do you say I can't drink now?
Yeah.
Let's say for Piastri.
Check the front left. I can see sparks coming from it, and I have a vibration.
Jess can see the future. She's reading the control chat. Yeah.
Or maybe the
Oscar?
radio message is a delayed, Crush.
Yeah. So this is going to be interesting. Lando's been on the radio.
Smoke!
I hope that's the dust being kicked up. I hope Piastri doesn't go to puncture.
Aston. That was Alonso.
Over the line we go again then. Are the stewards going to penalise Lando Norris, or are they going to say it go? It could be the dream of McLaren's first Constructors' Championship in 26 years. Might not happen tonight. They might have to go down to Abu Dhabi for a showdown. That's the holy grail in Formula One. Norris still having the attack to have a go through. So, yeah, Lewis staying out on the track now.
Everything looks okay, his engineer says, Oscar.
Oh, and who was that touching the gravel? That was Lawson.
The RB, yeah. We heard that before, wasn't it, from Leclerc's engineer? Everything looks fine and then signs his tyre.
Ooh, 10-second time penalty for Lando Norris.
You're joking me.
That is for failing, and it's a stop-go penalty. It is not a time. It is a 10-second stop-go penalty for Lando Norris for failing to follow the race director's instructions and slow under yellow. That is massive.
What does the stop-go penalty mean?
Has to stop in the pits.
Albon just rammed me.
And Albon's forced Magnussen off the track there, Ed.
And you can't pit either. You can't pit. You have to stop, go, and then head off.
That is
that was a bit of a tricky one, that Albon Magnussen incident, because I think Magnussen sort of tried to squeeze a bit from the outside, and Albon couldn't really have gone anywhere else. He was already up the inside and fully alongside him as well.
This isn't British bias, but I don't. Considering we saw the track angle, it wasn't a yellow flag. That is not the right penalty. Max is now really under attack from Lando, and the stewards have now destroyed this Grand Prix. As now we see Carlos Sainz trying to go on the outside of Gasly. I don't think that's deserving of a 10-second stop-go. That is effectively. So Hamilton can jump the start and get 5-second time penalty, but Charles doesn't. Sorry, Lando doesn't. Slow under what is a flag. I don't get it.
I wonder if it's Hamilton bias, not British bias.
I am honestly confused about that. Why is it a 10 seconds? Let's hear from Max.
Lando has been given a 10-second stop-and-go penalty. 10-second stop-and-go penalty, which he needs to serve within 2 laps.
That's true.
That's in.
That is. I'm sorry, but that is Red Bull having.
That is Bull B.
In deadly serious now, that is Red Bull having too much control over the FIA there. That is not. And Hamilton's been noted for speeding in the pit lane. Let's hear from Lando.
Lando, we have been given a 10-second stop-go penalty, which we will take this lap.
So he's taking in a 10-second time penalty that he is serving now. This is destroyed McLaren's chances of a Constructors' Championship here today. It seems
Hamilton under investigation.
Yeah, it seems the FIA are absolutely wanting the constructors to go down to the last race and maybe even go Ferrari's way. Norris will now drop all the way to the back of this field for an incident that was not his fault. And if I was McLaren, I would have stayed out, not served it, and argued hell in the office, because that was not a yellow flag. It was a slippery surface flag. That is.
And to me. Yeah. Weeks of desperation, because they know the race is about 11 laps from the end. They were like, we've got to do the penalty before the race ends, otherwise it'll be more controversial. And it'll go to
for what? Failing slow under the yellow flag.
Didn't say it was anything other. That wasn't a yellow flag. Norris is now at the back on hard tyres. I would have put him on softs personally. You can change tyres for the stop-go penalty. I believe.
Can you? You can't.
No, sorry, that's a time penalty. You're not allowed to do that under stop-go. You're absolutely correct. Yeah, it's a different rule.
Yeah, stop-go is very old school. We haven't seen that in a long, long time in that film.
That's an unusual penalty to take, a 10-second stop-go. I'm sorry, but the FIA, we need consistent stewarding. That is the most inconsistent. Today, of all days, the FIA have been massively inconsistent.
To be 3 penalties for Lewis Hamilton.
Speeding in the pit lane.
It's like a little kid that just wants to try out all the penalty buttons. See what they all do.
So in the pit lane in an enclosed space, it's a drive-through, but in a track...
Joe!
Also 25.5. Leave me alone, mate. I'm pushing.
Joe's there!
Oh, come on, Joe!
So
Lewis, you give me your first point in the season.
Lewis Hamilton. Guys, can I make a suggestion here? of everybody, Max Verstappen, people, the fans online, having a go at British bias, is today the FIA's attempt to shut that down by penalising the British drivers?
Yeah, in fairness, they have been penalised a lot.
Isn't that more about the media, though, and the way they report on the sport? So
yeah,
it's
the media reporting on the sport.
Yeah, but it's
not the
also
FIA.
but it's also the fact that the FIA haven't been given penalties. They've been given too many penalties to Max that have benefited British drivers. They haven't been given penalties to Max. So yesterday they gave penalties to Max. Today they've now been giving it to a British driver instead.
It feels a bit tit for tat.
Russell got a penalty as well at some point. I can't remember which one it was.
Feels a bit tit for tat to me, because we had Mexico where Max got the 20-second penalty, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And there we go. Noted incident for Albon forcing Magnussen off track there, I guess.
God knows what that's going to be.
Okay, looks we've got a drive-through penalty for speeding in the pit lane. So it looks like we forgot to press the button on that first time behind the safety car.
Just stop.
Negative.
Lewis wants to retire. He's been told no. And Lewis Hamilton is driving on the exit line of the pit. He's given up. He has so given up. And there's Lando Norris going through. What a weird day. I must admit, as Albon and Magnussen said, this notice for forcing the driver off the track, that could be anything. That could be a 5-second time penalty.
They've also got another one.
A 15-second stop-go penalty. The 10-second stop-go is the most extreme penalty you can give in a race, isn't it, Ed? It's the big one.
Yeah, exactly. And that was the reason why they switched so much to the sort of 5-second, 10-second penalty format, which is what they usually do for those sorts of infractions. Usually, if you speed under yellow flags, what typically happens is it gets investigated after the race, and if you're deemed guilty, in qualifying, you get your lap cancelled.
Yeah.
In the race, usually you get like a 5 or at worst a 10-second penalty, depending on the severity of the infraction there. But yeah, it feels a little bit like they sort of just panicked there.
Not going well, is it? I think the FIA have been... This is a result of Mohammed Ben Sulayem just
driving the wrong people.
Yeah, and box to retire for Lewis. Lewis is out, and here comes Magnussen for 9th place around the outside of Albon into 1. Nice move there from Kevin Magnussen.
I'm not the only one seeing this right. Perez has just got a rejoining unsafely turn 14 incident. Well, he didn't rejoin unsafely. He left the track.
Yeah, he retired
and never came back.
Oh, this is the case.
No, he did.
He spun back on.
He did go across the racing line after everyone had passed him.
Yeah.
When he was trying to rejoin, and then the engine.
It wasn't unsafely.
This is a case of Mohammed Ben Sulayem being a dictator, firing everybody who mildly upsets him in the FIA. The FIA right now are stretched so thin, it is unbelievable how many people they don't have.
And Mohammed Ben Sulayem is favouring Max Verstappen.
Yeah, and let's just also point out this, that Rui Marquez, the race director, this weekend has done F1 Academy, the Porsche Super Cup. He's also done Formula 2 and now Formula 1. He's just come back off of Vegas of doing the Ferrari Challenge and the F1 race there. And then he came back from Macau, where he was FIA race director there across 5 different series. The man is worn out, and this is unbelievable. We are going to get somebody killed. We should have had a virtual safety car earlier to pick up that debris. We didn't. Someone hit it. We had punctures. We've had drivers getting weird penalties which aren't the normality. The FIA is in a total implosion. And if they're not careful, we are going to get one of these drivers killed. And that is not the way we need to go about this. And it's now under investigation, Albon and Magnussen, for collision at turn 1. Jess.
Gosh, I wish I was free on Wednesday evening because I would have joined you, but I'm not free, which is annoying.
Yeah, honestly, Grid tonight.
And the impact of Ben Sulayem's decisions is not just going to affect F1, it's going to affect everywhere else where they need FIA stewards, like Formula E next weekend, for instance.
Yeah,
World Rally Championship. Yeah, exactly, that's what I'm saying.
FIA Formula E, of course, next year. That's every word.
Nice one, Kev.
Oh, he's not happy with Albon, is he?
Magnussen gets a penalty by Mohammed Ben Sulayem for swearing.
No, they don't seem to care what they say in the car. It's when they're out of the car in front of the press conference.
Albon moving under braking.
Yeah, is it fair to say that this race is possibly worse than what happened in Abu Dhabi?
Yeah.
Abu Dhabi was Michael Masi making the error. This race is literally the FIA have no control.
Abu Dhabi was only one controversial moment in Abu Dhabi.
Yeah,
that was it.
How many have we had?
There's loads.
Yeah, we've had 5 in this race alone. This race is going to be remembered for the FIA imploding. And I bet none of the commentators are talking about that on Sky or F1 TV.
There's been 15 incidents, not including the under investigation and the penalties.
Norris gets ahead of Lawson on the inside line, and Norris up to 13th. Seriously, I bet no one will talk about that from F1.
They're not allowed because the media's not allowed to.
Well,
they don't want Ben Tyler to come down on them like a giant van hammer or whatever.
We will talk about it, and you can join us on Grid tonight on Wednesday to talk about it, because this is going to be our lead story. Forget whatever happens, this is our lead story. FIA is massively imploding here, and this needs a proper discussion.
I wish I wasn't away on that Wednesday.
Piastri's made an error. Exeter 14, he's run wide and picked up some more gravel. Oh my god. I thought Vegas gave me a headache. This race.
After this, you can have some hot chocolate.
Zach Brown. I want to go and give him the biggest hug possible.
After having
he's got a lot of money. I'm sure he's going to be fine, Josh. He's just
That
playing
should
up.
have been an easy constructor's title for McLaren today.
It'll go down to Vegas with a very close gap as well.
I don't think they were going to seal it necessarily, Jeff, but they would have had one hand
They
on
would
it.
have won it easily in Abu Dhabi, though.
Yeah. I mean, it'll
It
go
would
down
have
to
made
Abu
it
Dhabi,
easier,
not
yeah.
Vegas.
If it helps, Lando is coming back with a vengeance here because he's got the fastest lap, taking it away from anyone else who could possibly get it, and he's moving up the field quite quick.
He's getting ahead of Tsunoda now as Bottas tries to go around the outside of Albon. Double points off the track! Albon forces Bottas off the circuit in turn 1! Bottas should have got ahead there for 10th place. Norris is ahead of Tsunoda.
I think I'll take a look at that before giving any judgment, because I just saw a tiny window of it.
Look at the replay.
I was watching on it, and you have to wait, obviously, for that. But yeah, Bottas now right up and behind Albon, who's on soft tyres. Those soft tyres, 16 up
Tell the
on.
softs are going.
Yeah. They just...
And the Williams is not a great car to begin with at the moment either.
I'm a Sauber fan right now. I so want them to get double points. They had it last year, and they desperately need it.
So do I.
5 to go. Max Verstappen is about to win in Qatar. He's 5 seconds ahead of Charles Leclerc, unless for whatever reason the FIA decides to give him a penalty for breathing. Anybody's in trouble out there today.
Well, let's see.
Sauber will still be last in the constructors.
They still have something.
Yes, but if Bottas gets a point, he'll go ahead of Sargent. Oh, and that was Sainz wide.
Joe.
Yeah, Joe's behind Lawson at the moment. So
There's
Joe,
Bottas.
yeah. No, actually, Joe will stay in 21st. And this is Bottas. And yeah, what do you think then, guys?
No, Joe was 20th according to Voivia. I don't know. That was tough.
I think Albon left just enough space, and look, Bottas has got through anyway.
Bottas! Double points, but here comes Lando Norris. That'll put them down to 11th.
Quick, move past Magnussen.
Albon's going to let him
He's got to
through.
pick up Albon first.
Oh, well, I was thought he's going to let him through. He's trying to defend, but Norris is a man on a mission, and he's through.
It's like he was pretending to defend.
Yeah. Oh, and Albon. Yeah, Chamberson's going to go to Abu Dhabi. Well, we guessed that.
Unless something really strange happens in the next
9-point gap, isn't it? Or is that... No, it's more than 9. 19, isn't it?
Yeah. Nagan?
What?
638 minus 619.
Yeah, that's 19.
Yeah, 9. Yeah.
What's that, Ed?
Ed's quick on the maths.
Done. You passed the basic maths.
It's actually perfectly divided by 2.
Sort of secondary school.
We're just having fun, just laughing at the FIA misfortune.
But, I remember when I was in secondary school, we had a maths in motion club that had a brilliant F1 simulator where you sort of had to choose all the downforce levels and how much fuel to put in the car, and then it would simulate the race for you. And we had a team where we had, I think, because it was 2007, and we thought Lewis Hamilton was the best thing ever, so we put a sort of RoboCop Hamilton or something, or Terminator Hamilton as our lead driver, and he kept crashing out because we didn't give enough fuel.
Oh, no, I forgot passport.
And Alexander Albon has been given a 10-second timer penalty for causing a collision.
Okay, this is all kind of seeming like anyone who's a part of the Commonwealth.
Not a good day to have a
To be
British
fair,
passport.
that was a bit more cut and dry because he
know-
did just sort of push
do you know what
Magnussen
I'm
off track. to get
So
through.
confused about?
Yeah.
The fact that there's two things here for Magnussen and Albon. Gonna have to figure out which one it is.
Causing a collision, so that's the turn 1, Megan. As in,
How many pages have you got of messages, Megan?
she's just on. She's about. Hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. She's 6 lines away from needing to turn the page.
And I'm literally doubling up on things.
She's actually doubling up on things as well. So yeah, it's getting bad.
The last practice we hardly had anything.
Yeah, Megan's hand is sore today from writing.
Actually, no. I write a lot, so it's kind of just used to it.
Wait until I tell the new race director has decided to publish all the race control messages.
Side.
Nah, that's Cassie had it safe. That outside line's so good through there. Yeah, the race director has now decided to publish the messages after the sessions.
Norris has also got fastest lap, so he's got 2 points coming his way. So he's really limiting the damage well, despite second place being taken away from him. Essentially.
He's got fastest lap again.
Yeah, 1, and he'll get a point. He'll get 2 points then. Every point matters. 1:22.4, 7:1, and Hamilton still hasn't retired the car, has he? Trooper.
He wants to.
Yeah, he got told to retire the car. Hang on, Lewis wants to retire. Stay out, Lewis. Negative. Lewis, please retire the car. No, I'm not going to do it. He's like a teenager. Clean your room. No, but you can't see anything. I'll find a clean room. What do you
Why are
mean?
you still out
What
then?
if
Do you
Roscoe
think that maybe he's using it for testing? No,
I think
surely
it-
not.
I think he just wants to have some fun
Yeah.
because he said, and it's like the car's messed up as is after doing half a lap with one of the tires missing due to puncture. It's like, well, it can't get any worse. Let's pick up the RBs and just have some fun because I think Lewis at the end of the day loves racing more than anything else.
Another race control message to put on your pages,
Oh.
Megan.
No
further action.
Hang on. So Albon's been given a 10-second time penalty for forcing Magnussen off the track. And in the second incident, it's no further action for forcing him off the track. So forcing him off the track is nothing, but hitting him off, you can't. Oh, for God's
Russell safety car infringement.
And
That's
here's
going to be a disqualification.
Another Commonwealth.
Every British driver.
Everyone.
Are you kidding me?
Oh, there's a lot to pick from.
Are you serious right now?
This is just a bit too coincidental.
This is the FIA responding to the British bias by penalising every bloody British driver under the sun.
The only one who doesn't is part of the Commonwealth who has not got a penalty or might get
Is
a penalty.
Lawson.
Piastri.
No, because
Piastri.
Lawson has a penalty. Piastri.
Oh, it's Piastri, yeah. No, hang on.
He has that thing at the start.
Piastri is under investigation.
Everyone.
Piastri's under investigation after the race for cutting the pit lane line. Every driver who is part of the Commonwealth is either under investigation or has a penalty.
What about Lance Stroll?
My God. Hang on,
Lance
he's out.
retired on his own. So
Yeah, Stroll's retired. Can I just
Only had that penalty at the start.
And he had a penalty at the start, Ed. He had a 10-second time penalty at the start. Let's not forget.
All right.
So, can I just point out?
Oh, yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Come to Qatar. If you're part of the Commonwealth, you will not have a good time.
Yeah, basically that's it. I don't think anyone out there likes us anyway.
Well, I think it's the time we've said so many of our sayings today. I think it's about time to say that the cocky Dutchman is about to win again.
Oh, God, Josh, no.
Unbelievable race.
I have to say, the only one that felt a bit egregious to me was the Norris one. All the others, I think the driver in question probably was either pushing the limits too far, clearly broke the pit lane speed limit, or, various different things. With Russell, I guess we'll have to see, because we haven't seen the infringement in any kind of detail.
That'll probably be a grid penalty for the next race.
Yeah. This race has been balmy.
Chaos.
90 minutes of sheer confusion. Rui Marquez putting dangerous scenes out there on the circuit. It's been high drama. The FIA have imploded. Controversial or not, whatever this is, you can't fault Max Verstappen. A man simply magnificent, simply lovely evening in Qatar. His 63rd career win and the perfect 10. Max Verstappen wins the 10th time in total in 2023. I'm getting behind myself. I'm having Vietnam flashbacks. Leclerc is second. Piastri third. We go down to Abu Dhabi for a constructor showdown. Gasly's fifth. And Zhou Guanyu exits the last corner and finishes eighth. Yes!
Go on, Joe.
It is points for Sauber for the first time, and it is a 100% points record for Zhou Guanyu here in Qatar. It was 9th last year. It's 8th today. It's 4 points. He'll go ahead of Lawson. He'll go ahead of Lawson in the standings, and Sauber finally get 4 vital points. Everybody wins in the Constructors' Championship, but one thing's for certain in Qatar, nobody's won tonight.
Oh, I've just got driver of the day.
The FIA need a serious look at themselves. What a race. What a shambles. It's a bit of everything.
I want to hear Joe's radio.
So if when we have it, we will play it. First of all, though, let's hear from Max Verstappen.
Shown with his results this season.
Okay, mate. Karma is a wonderful thing. You definitely did not drive unnecessarily slowly today. Great job.
Simply lovely, guys.
Oh,
yes, 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 yes. What an unbelievable race again. That was really fun.
Max, that was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. You nailed it from the start, and on either the left or the right side, you'd have done it today. So absolutely outstanding. Your 9th victory of the year. That is quite an achievement. Well done, mate.
Simply a lovely evening again.
10. This is miscounting it. But still, we've got an incident involving Russell under investigation for safety car infringement. What a day to be part. Well, I'll tell you what, there's one thing you can say now. You definitely do have the wrong passport now. FIA have overcompensated. What a day. Russell falls.
I'm not sure how Norris getting a.
And he's been given a 5-second
There we go,
penalty.
Russell.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me.
And that,
Was this the karma they were referring to?
5 seconds.
but does that drop him behind
No,
Gasly
doesn't.
or
It's
not?
fine.
No.
He's 2 seconds
So
ahead.
Russell stays where he is.
You sure about that?
So, haha. Yes, I am sure. I've just seen it.
Did it change?
Yeah, I've just seen it happen.
Right, so Russell stays 4th, Gasly down to 5th.
Oh my god! So that's pretty much the a slam dunk penalty for like speeding in the pit lane.
Yeah.
Basically, the Commonwealth
That's one of the best penalties that are given. That they're like, yeah.
Ah,
Didn't see what he did, but it was that. But it was a not controversial one.
Megan, can you just take a look, please? Previous safety car infringement penalties that we had earlier on, that were they 5 seconds? Or were they?
They were 10.
Yeah, they were 10. So what's going on there?
I have no idea.
It's inconsistent, the FIA.
Oh, I can tell you one thing. They don't want to annoy the head and the lead
Of the GPTA.
Yeah, they don't want to annoy him.
I think we might be in for a bit of a driver revolt when we get to Abu Dhabi at this rate.
And that's a man who
I
can
don't
cause
think
it.
we'll have a race in Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, the drivers are not going to like this one bit. Well, Max Verstappen might, but if you're winning,
I'm not so sure.
If you're winning out front, you don't really care what's happening.
Exactly.
There's Max Verstappen. Kelly's standing at the back, actually. Hasn't said anything to Max.
She's
today.
done this a lot.
She's got 7 World
yeah.
Championships at home as well. 3 for her dad, 4 for her partner.
Yeah.
Well, there is Charles Leclerc, finishes 2nd in this race.
He's still on the P2 in the drivers affair.
Right, I'm gonna leave.
Right. Final thoughts
Bye,
from you,
Megan.
Max?
That was insane.
Remember, Dad would have seen. He would not have seen all of it. He is
Oh, I
behind.
know.
Actually, he might not be that far behind. But yeah, the thoughts going into Abu
Don't
Dhabi.
spoil it for Ian.
I wonder if it's going to be this chaotic.
Get rid of that fly. And oh, I've hit it. Quick! It's out near the door. Bye, Max. Go, quick! Oh, it's come back. It's going near the door. Quick! Oh, it's this light. Oh wait, it's going near the door again. Open the door. Go! It's over here. Oh, it's here. There's an annoying fly in the commentary box. Hang on, I might get it.
Oh, look who it is that Leclerc's speaking to there.
Oh, it's the...
No,
It's the...
it's good old MBS.
More like BS at the moment. Right. Ooh.
Oh my God, Josh.
Sorry, we're fighting a big fly. Go, 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 go! Open the door! Open the door!
That's no way to talk about the FIA president. It was democratically elected, whether you like it or not.
Yeah, he rigged the vote. He ran unopposed. Can I just point that out as well? He ran unopposed.
Well, he also ran... No, John Todd did have a guy who was sort of supposed to be his continuity candidate. He did lose. But MBS, what part of his FIA presidency campaign was all about transparency. Now, whenever he gets questioned about it, it's like, oh, well, it's none of your business now. So that really shows that went out the window, I think.
Mohammed Ben Salayem, not really being great, is he? Let's see, one more race to go, one more week to go in Formula One this year. David Coulthard will host the post-race interviews now. Let's head down to the 13-time Grand Prix winner who's talking with them.
So Oscar Piastri, third place finisher in what was a very eventful race. Safety cars galore, penalties, and you had quite a few moments as you were in your own battle. We saw you working the wheel hard to keep the car on track.
Yeah, it was a tricky race. I think, you know, the cars at the front seemed to have very similar pace to each other, and it was really, really tough to make the inroads to get into DRS and then far enough into DRS to overtake. So a couple of good moments with Charles out there, and yeah, nice to end up on the podium, but not quite the result we were looking for.
Yeah, this does mean that this championship battle well and truly goes down to the final Grand Prix.
Yeah, I'm not sure what Lando's penalty was for, but yeah, obviously quite a big one. So yeah, going to be an exciting end to the year. I think you know, hopefully we can be strong, but it's going to take everything we've got to seal the deal.
A year ago, we saw you all exhausted at the end of this race. The safety cars have broken this one up, so physically a lot more controlled this year.
Definitely. I think just the temperature as well. You know, the track's a lot faster this year, so it should be tougher, but I think the fact that it's not a sauna in the car this year is making life a bit easier. So fun race, mega track. You know, it's probably the most fun of the whole year around here. So yeah, enjoyed the race, just not quite the result.
Great to hear you love the track. We'll leave you to go and enjoy the podium.
Let's hear for Charles Leclerc, finishes in second place.
So Charles Leclerc, second place in the end. So given the events of that Grand Prix, I guess you'll not be too disappointed with that result.
I'm really happy. I mean, honestly, I will have signed straight away if I had a paper that told me that we will finish second after a weekend like this, especially on a track like this, because our car characteristics is not fitting very well with this track, and we knew it was going to be a very difficult weekend compared to the McLaren, but at the end we managed to take some points away from them. So yeah, the fight will be all the way to the last race in Abu Dhabi next week.
We had that controversial moment with a couple of punctures. Your teammate picked up that puncture. Were you well aware of the debris on track? Were you in contact with your engineer?
Honestly, I don't know whether it was the debris or the way the curbs are and the way we need to ride the curbs. On the curbs, I just ignored it because I knew that there was too much performance in it, and I was just hoping to not have a puncture myself as well. For the debris, I was staying on the left in the straights, hoping that it wouldn't bite me, and it didn't. Hopefully, it's a shame for Carlos because obviously as a team it would have been great to be further up with Carlos. But yeah, it's the way it goes, and it's still a positive weekend overall for the team.
So given that you weren't expecting this circuit to be strong for you, as we go down to the wire for the constructors a week's time in Abu Dhabi, where do you see yourself in performance terms there?
It's difficult to know. I think we are all very close, so I think it's going to be very tight, but it's exciting. Yeah, 21 points is still a lot, but everything is possible and we'll give it all.
Okay, well, congratulations. Enjoy the podium. And our race winner, Max Verstappen. It's been a while in completely dry conditions, but what a difference a day makes on the ropes and the sprint to leading this from the start, and what was not a dominant victory in terms of your battle with Lando. In the end, it was comfortable.
Yeah, it was a very good race. Of course, already yesterday in qualifying, the car was a lot better. And yeah, today, that first stint was very, very fast. Lando and I were just within 1.8 seconds of each other the whole time, pushing each other. And honestly, it was a lot of fun out there. This track has a lot of grip, and this year the tires are really holding on. So that was honestly a lot of fun to be, you know, really pushing the tire. And yeah, we went really long on that first stint. After that, of course, there were a few safety car moments that you had to take care. But very happy, you know, it's been a while in the dry to be this competitive, and very proud of everyone within the team, you know, to turn it around within a day. So they definitely also deserve this victory.
You mentioned the safety cars. It looked the first one you absolutely aced the restart. The second one, you put yourself under a lot of pressure, and it was some brilliant wheel-to-wheel action into turn one, and then you got the final one spot on. So was it like it looked? You just didn't quite get the traction in the second?
On the hard tires, there's very little grip. You know, you just come out of the box, so they're already cold, and then immediately, of course, we had the safety car. And behind the safety car, you can't warm them up. And then I tried something different out of the last corner, where I had no rear grip, basically. So I just struggled for traction out of the corner, and then it got a bit spicy into turn one, but I think that's great to see. And then, yeah, after that, we drove it to the end with good pace. So, yeah, very happy to win here.
We've got these three amazing races. You had your World Championship in Vegas. Here we are a week later, you're winning. And in 1 week's time, we're going to be in Abu Dhabi. Have you any idea where your performance will be? Because it seems so close between all of the main teams.
Yeah, it's difficult to say. Of course, the last 2 years, we've always been quite competitive there. So I hope we can be competitive again, but we'll pay attention to detail, you know, to try and optimize the car, and hopefully, yeah, we can fight for a win there again.
Well, look, you go and enjoy the podium. Congratulations on this fantastic victory. And ladies and gentlemen, in 1 week's time, we'll have the showdown for the Constructors' Championship in Abu Dhabi.
Which is all the FIA really care about and wanted to happen by the look of it. I've just had a look on social media for the first time. Let's hear, though, as Max drives across the line. Update, by the way, Perez has now been noted for dangerous driving, and he's being investigated after the race for it as well. Jess, just coming to you quickly. This race is just ridiculous. Your thoughts, please. It's got to be FIA.
Oh, this day, honestly, this whole day, Josh, has been utter shambles. Like, first of all, it started with F1 Academy being cancelled. Then it's F2 for the other cancel that spring with delays. And then F1's delayed to bring out the safety car. And the shambles of penalties is absolutely ridiculous. I'm lost for words this weekend. FIA need to step it up a little bit. But on a bad note for me anyway, I just found out on social media that Red Bull are out of Constructors' Championship contention. So Red Bull won't be getting their bonuses.
Oh my God. Huh. Let's hear the cool down room. Ed, quickly. Oh, we'll catch you after.
That one was...
They've
had no grip.
Oh, they've turned it off.
Okay, right, okay.
Go
I
on,
guess
Ed.
I'll say word instead then.
Yeah, they've turned it off. Go on.
Right, yeah, I just had them trying to come back in there. So I think messy is the word I would use to describe it. It probably would have been it was looking like a very, very straightforward race right up until yeah, there was that mirror on Alex Albon's car. So I think the root cause maybe is Williams doing having to do 50 rebuilds in a row from accident damage, caused that sort of fault, and then there was all that chaos because the FIA stewarding didn't react in time, or perhaps was worried that if they put a safety car it would favour certain people rather than others, and in the end that inaction forced them to then have to ultimately put the safety car out when Hamilton and Sainz were getting punches. And I think it was almost certainly because of the mirror and not because of the curbs necessarily. But yeah, it's a bit of a shame. Constructors' Championship goes on. Take nothing away from Verstappen. He did brilliantly today and controlled things up front. Even when he messed up that restart, Norris couldn't quite get alongside into the first corner. And yeah, I mean, obviously Ferrari got more points than McLaren today, but I think Charles, you take nothing from him, he defended well against Piastri the entire race pretty much, and got into that position. George Russell was, I think, a bit unlucky today, and I think the penalty at the end was seemed a bit unnecessary, but we didn't see what the safety car infraction was. So Mercedes definitely one of the big losers of today.
Here we go. Let's hear what the
But
drivers
yeah,
have to
big
say.
news. Guerrier and Sauber getting their 4 points. That's brilliant.
We've got audio back. Let's hear quickly what they say about this safety car drama restart. If they mention the FIA.
Well,
Nothing's
slowest drag race.
I don't think they are because they know they're being broadcast.
Did you guys touch it?
No, it was very close, maybe.
It's the restart to turn 1.
People in the back there.
Yeah.
I was all over the place.
And they cut away just before Checo from that one. Yeah, Owen's saying, hello Owen, mate of mine. P45 for the race director, P45 for the FIA. I'm with you on that.
No FIA, who is going to enforce the rules? Whether is there going to be like a F1A? No, that's F1 Academy.
Yeah. To be fair, I can't see. The drivers coming into Abu Dhabi, the GPDA are going to be really angry about this. Really angry. And Mohammed Ben Sulayem is on the podium right now. He's wearing a blazer. I would be a little bit worried if the drivers, what they're going to do here, because he's going to be presenting the medal for Max Verstappen. So on they come then.
Verstappen isn't going to care because he won. So.
Is Mohammed Ben Sulayem wearing a jacket there, or is he just alongside the man wearing the jacket? I can't quite tell from this camera angle.
He wasn't wearing one earlier.
No, so I think he's just alongside. But yeah, any snipers in the area? You know where to go.
Jesus, Josh.
Hey, look, this guy's going to get somebody killed. Not gonna. What he's doing by firing. Well, I'm going to have to pause. We'll continue this in the post-show. Our F1 anthem, ladies and gentlemen, the Dutch national anthem for Max Verstappen. A 63rd career win and 9th of the season. And now the Austrian national anthem for Red Bull. It's quite comical when the FIA race director, as Ed said earlier, runs, as well, so the president says that he runs on transparency, and now when he gets asked about wanting to be transparent earlier on today, he said it's none of our business.
It's not the driver's business.
Yeah, well, ours either.
Even though they're the ones directly affected.
It's not working. Here is the man in question, Mohammed Ben Sulayem. Handshake and a gold medal to Max Verstappen. But yeah, not the best here. I wonder what is going to happen in the morning, whether or not we're going to see Rui Marquez as the race director. If they sack him, who do they get? Is Abu Dhabi going to do the funniest thing possible and see the return of Michael Masi? There's no one else left if they sack Rui Marquez. And I'm not even
Michael
joking.
Masi is better.
Michael Masi is better. Michael Masi made
I
one
don't
mistake.
think Michael wants to put himself through it all over
No, I
again,
don't.
is the thing at this point. And who can blame him after he was getting death threats from Abu Dhabi 21?
Bring back Herbie Blash for a race. This is...
Speaking of death threats, Josh, just to calm down the mood a bit, I think maybe we should lay off encourage the assassination of the FIA president, because I don't think that would make things better somehow.
Debatable.
I just don't think it's a good thing to be calling on air. I mean, I say that as someone who, you know, said some stupid stuff in the past, but...
Well, I don't think... and there is no... do we have champagne? They've been hidden behind it. Yes.
Rosewater, isn't it?
Non-alcoholic champagne, I've just been whispered. Okay, good. The celebrations begin on the podium, but there's nothing to celebrate here. FIA have embarrassed themselves today. A race with so many penalties, confusion reigns. If Abu Dhabi 2021 made people shudder, this makes true die-hard fans shudder. The FIA has lost the confidence of the teams, the drivers, and the fans. This is a very dark day. This is not Grand Prix.
No, definitely not.
Let's confirm how they finished then. Max Verstappen wins for the 63rd time. Red Bull win for the 122nd time in their career. Charles Leclerc is second, with third place going to Oscar Piastri. Top three in the championship of constructors in reverse order there on the podium. Then we get Russell fourth, Gasly fifth. Great result from Pierre. Really strong again from Alpine. They secure sixth in the constructors. And we'll go down that fight as well to Abu Dhabi. Sainz seventh. Fernando Alonso, despite saying that the car was undrivable, finishes seventh. Zhou Guanyu gets his first points and Sauber's first points of the season with eighth. 4 vital ones for them. That's 400,000 they'll get extra for scoring those points. Magnussen in ninth, and Norris fights back from that 10-second stop go for 10th. A 1:22.384. He gets 2 points with that fastest lap bonus point. Valtteri Bottas is 11th, with Lewis Hamilton finishing in 12th. Tsunoda and Lawson, a gamble on softs didn't work out, neither for Albon. They go 13, 14 and 15. Hülkenberg retired, as well as Perez, Stroll, Colapinto and Ocon. The Abu Dhabi Grand Prix is next weekend. You can join us for all the action from that as well. But we must now talk about this calamity we've had here up in the box tonight. I don't know the best words. It certainly has shocked me. Let's start with you, Ed. Your viewpoint, please, on this strange weekend.
It is a shame, because there are a lot of good stories that got overshadowed there, like Joe finishing 8th and getting Sauber's most likely. Well, they might score points in Abu Dhabi. We'll see if it's as chaotic there. But yeah, it would have been really nice to see the championship just continue as it was looking to, with McLaren getting those points. And it's a shame really for Norris that there was a somewhat questionable penalty there, I think it's fair to say. But yeah, it does feel a little bit like, and so there was that, and there was basically the mirror not doing anything about the mirror, and sort of the inaction almost sort of led to the puncture for Sainz as well. So almost had the exact, you talk about bias against the or anti-British bias or whatever it is. It almost had the exact opposite effect, with Ferrari being affected by that, and really it was just luck that sort of kept Sainz in that battle for P6 with Gasly near the end. But so yeah, there's all the stuff leading into this with was it Teddy Mayer's son being sacked, and all sorts of people that basically for questioning and not being 100% or mildly questioning effectively things that Ben Siam has said and done, has sort of led to mass sort of sackings, and he's not felt the need to justify it as well. That's been the bigger issue for me, and this has sort of been more the consequence of that, has led to stewards that are horribly overworked and struggling to make decisions under pressure, of course. And we even know from before that was it Saudi last year, where Ben Salim got in trouble for interfering with the steward process as well, with the penalty for Alonso in the Aramco sponsored Aston Martin, of course. That penalty did ultimately get rescinded with a little help from the FIA president, but of course I think it was more in Aston's interest as well. They did a protest that sort of a counter protest, wasn't it? That was effective. But yeah, I think there was it could have gone a lot smoother. Lewis had a horrible day today, didn't he? With the not only the puncture from the glass shards, but also the car not being particularly great to begin with. Him and Mercedes picking turns about who's going to moan about retiring this lap, and then he eventually does get to the end in like P12 incredibly, despite having a jump start penalty and then another penalty for speeding in the pits as well. Like, everything that could have gone wrong did go wrong for Lewis today. So yeah, I think that's off the top of my head. That's all the thoughts I have. But yeah, no fault for Verstappen. Great to see the world champion, get another win under his belt, because everyone had sort of written Red Bull off, and they've recovered brilliantly.
I'd love to know if Omi's in the comms box. I don't know if he's got his mic off.
Yeah.
Omi, hello.
Hey.
Come on, you've enjoyed some rants over your time. What the hell did you make of that?
Oh, well, that was quite something. Well, I'm absolutely furious. It's just been a day of just annoyed, really. From when we started the day all the way up until now, and yeah, I'm just absolutely furious at what we've seen as well. It basically did ruin us a Grand Prix as well. With the pace that Norris was showing, we may have seen a battle for the win. We may have seen some amazing action at the front. But yeah, just absolutely annoying stuff from the FIA. And Rui Marquez this week, just don't know what has been going on. Of course, he has so much. He's been doing so much over the last few weeks. But yeah, today, I just don't know, and I think I wouldn't be surprised with how everyone else has been sacked. I think he absolutely should be. But then who do we get for the job? And, well, we have next week, of course, a Formula 2 final that's coming up. And it really annoyed us that...
Academy.
Yeah, but a Formula 2 championship fight, F1 Academy, F1 they've already crowned. A Formula 2 championship fight, which is separated by half a point. I will be really annoyed if they manage to ruin it in some way as well. And that's basically level on points like 2021. So I'm going to be I'm now going to be incredibly worried of what's going to happen next week with the FIA, but I am absolutely fuming from today.
I am going to get to the YouTube comments as well, just after we've heard from Jess and your viewpoint, please. I'm almost tongue-tied after 3 hours. I'm genuinely a bit angry myself, to be fair. I'm sort of despondent. Go on, Jess, what about you?
I would like to hear your views as well, again, after I said my views, but to copy what George Morgan says from a certain race, that race was absolutely diabolical. It really was. Like, there was penalties left, right and centre. The race director didn't know what he was doing. Should have been a safety car 10 laps before, or even a red flag. It never happened. People's lives could have been in danger. And Sainz's car, well, damaged again, which luckily, the constructors' fight will go to Abu Dhabi anyway. But if both McLarens finished where they were, then the fight would have almost been certainly won at Abu Dhabi. It just seems to be winning constructors' championships at the moment, and I just don't like it. I won't be surprised if the drivers have a revolt. This is not. Even though it was a chaotic Grand Prix, it is not the one I want to remember.
Sorry, Jess. Let's hear from hear from Lando Norris.
Very frustrated. It felt a harsh penalty. That's what everyone observed afterwards. Even now, do you still think it's harsh or not?
Honestly, I don't know what I've done wrong at the minute. Apparently, I didn't slow under the yellow. I'm not an idiot. If I knew there was a yellow, I would have slowed down. I don't know if I've missed it or just been dumb. But yeah, if the rule is if you don't slow down under the yellow, that's the penalty. So it's a fair penalty.
Okay, fair enough. Given the pace you had today, do you sense it was an opportunity missed, even on the hard tyre at the end, where you were a second quicker than Max?
Yeah, I had clean air at the end, but I mean, of course, there's an opportunity missed.
Yeah.
That's quite obvious. So.
What about the constructors now? It's still a reasonably healthy lead you have going into the final Grand Prix. Different circuit, obviously. What level of optimism do you have that you can close this out?
Hi. I mean, the team gave me a great car today, so I'm thankful for the team. I'm disappointed that I couldn't have done a worse job than I did today and not give them the points they deserve. So I've made the job of the team much harder than it needs to be. So, the team are doing a great job, but I've let them down.
Thank you.
Well, that's harsh. We are going to stay on a little bit, but let's hear what the Skypad has to say.
That he's got such what seems like a very, very harsh penalty, but he's saying he didn't see it deserve the penalty himself. What's your take on it? Does it matter whether it was double wave yellows or normal yellows?
Well, the thing is, Simon, you have to lift under a double-waved yellow, and now there's going to be some confusion from the fans because they might be thinking, well, all we saw was a single yellow at the time. We'll get on to that, so let's talk it through. So first of all, it all happens here with Albon's mirror. If I play that on, you'll see it's just going to pop off right there. Only one mirror on the Williams there, and from the off-board, you can see it. Look at the speed it comes off. So it lays on the track. It's quite a big thing. And obviously you're going to do some damage if you run over it. Then the next thing we saw was this. After we had heard that Norris got the penalty, he comes out of the final corner. There's Verstappen in front of him, and we're looking. This is the one. This is what we saw. We saw this yellow light, static yellow light on the left-hand side. Yeah, that's what we were seeing. And this is what I thought they were referring to. You know, this is the one you have to lift off.
Yeah, that's not a yellow though.
And they play this, and sure enough, he doesn't lift. But at that moment, Verstappen wasn't lifting either, because it wasn't this lap.
I thought it wasn't.
Talking about.
I thought it wasn't.
This lap here. And we've got, don't be confused, we've got Russell on the right-hand side. The only reason we've got that is so we can focus on the lap number.
Lap 29,
He got pinged for lap 30, not lap 31. The lap we've just seen with the static yellow was lap 31. It's going to go to lap 30 as I roll that on. So Norris coming out the final corner.
Yeah, now it's lap 30, yes.
And he crosses the line. When he crosses the line, it goes to lap 30. So it's changed there, lap 30.
Yes.
So as we're rolling it on, keep watching Norris's side now on the screen. At some moment there, I've missed it there. There's that yellow light just coming on.
How did Max see that?
The double wave yellow light comes on, and then further down the road, we see the yellow double waved yellows.
Yeah.
Double waved yellows. Now,
Max saw that.
Really and obviously on the graphic here it comes up, and that's what we should have seen.
It came up on our Java
on the world
tracker.
feed, but we didn't.
And
We only
then
saw
he's
the
green.
single yellow,
Look.
right? So that clears up that confusion. The really impressive thing is that Max
sees the yellow.
Crafty Max.
Crafty Max.
Don't tell me.
With no light on, because he's ahead of Norris, so there's not even a light to react
He sees
to.
the flags, look.
Listen.
He sees the double yellow.
He's a four-time world champion.
He saw the double yellow flags.
He lifted. And he is, and you could just tell. I mean, they might have picked it up anyway, but he planted the seed, didn't he? You just he's got the capacity to do that.
He reacted to yellow flags without the help of a light, without his engineer telling it. He just saw it, knew what he was doing, and then dobbed in his mate, who he guessed didn't lift.
Yeah.
Then
and unfortunately, that's what it takes when you go up against Max Verstappen. You have to get absolutely everything right. And in this moment, whilst, yes, the light only came on at the last second, Max didn't even have the lights, and he still saw the double-waved yellow down the road. So it's a hard one. It is very, very, very harsh, though. I don't know if it's necessary to have a double-waved yellow flag for a mirror on a straight where there's great visibility. Is it as much of a danger as a double-waved yellow, or would a single yellow have been enough for this sort of scenario?
Well, Jensen called it absolutely right. What they should have done is either virtual safety car or a safety car, and clear it up safely. Because what ended up happening with Bottas destroying it caused potentially some punctures and a worse situation because of it not being under a safety car.
Yeah.
Poor old Rui Marquez comes in, but you know, he's going to be under the microscope here, because that's the point. And I think that's the point where a lot of Lando Norris fans are going to be pretty unhappy about, in that it took, what, four laps, was it, before the safety car came out? It took for the mirror to be run over by Valtteri Bottas, cause all that debris, for that to be called. It should have been called earlier, shouldn't
And
it?
the problem for people saying, oh, the stewards, it's too harsh. They've got the rule book. So they see double waved yellow, driver didn't lift, they open the rule book, what's the penalty? It's a 10-second penalty. They've got no wriggle room. They don't just make up these rules. It's in the book. They can't do anything. They've got their hands tied.
Unfortunately, there's no penalties for the stewards making the wrong call, is there? You know, if they would have put out that safety car earlier, I mean, it took them...
But is that, sorry, it's just be pedantic. That's not the stewards that make the call. That's race director.
Race director.
That's Rui Marquez.
Was obviously, they could have put out the safety car. They could have put out the virtual safety car. They waited until they had 2 punctures. I think Sainz had already changed his tyres and come back out before the safety car came out. So it was a bit of a delayed reaction there.
Wonder what I wonder what the FIA president might do about this one. We'll have to watch the track record at the moment. Wouldn't like to be Rui Marquez. Right, OK, let's hear from Andrea Stella.
Well, Andrea, very eventful. Lots of decisions there that affected the outcome of the race. What's your view?
Well, the race itself was actually unfolding in a very strong way. I think after the stop, we knew that the hard tyres was actually a good tire for our car. We were optimistic in terms of the final result with Lando, and then this was affected overall result obviously dramatically by the penalty, which meant that we only come out with Lando with 2 points when it could have been a victory. On Oscar's side, he did very well. He did well in finishing on the podium. Actually, he lost the position because of the safety car, which gave an advantage to Leclerc, but this is a racing situation. Sometimes you gain, sometimes you lose with the safety car. And important points for Oscar that keep us still in a solid position in the championship. But definitely we have the sense that we have missed a significant opportunity to close the matter here in Qatar.
I saw you looking at the telemetry. Did Lando lift or not lift under that yellow? And when have you known a consistent penalty for that kind of thing being a 10-second stop-and-go penalty, which is given pretty rarely?
So we checked the data. Effectively, Lando stays flat out. We have to say that the sector appeared yellow as soon as Lando had entered the sector, but the requirement is very clear. You need to lift, and it's the responsibility of the driver to recognize that you are in a yellow sector and you need to back off. At the same time, I think it's quite peculiar that the yellow flag was deployed and then was removed, but actually the situation in that sector was the same. There was a debris on track, but at some time it deserved a yellow flag, and then a few seconds after it didn't, which is just unfortunate, I would say. And then I think in the application of the penalty, I think we have lost any sense of proportion and any sense of specificity. Can we look specifically at the infringement at the level of danger associated to the situation, and in fact the yellow flag was removed, and then judge using these kind of elements, proportion and specificity, rather than taking a look at any kind of rule book, probably full of dust on top of it, and then apply it without any sense of critical approach. So from this point of view, I think there's an opportunity to do better from the FIA.
Okay. I'm sure it will be a matter of much discussion over the next few days. See you in Abu Dhabi. Thank you.
I mean, slam dunk there, as we've just been given some news that there's a news story circulating that Esteban Ocon won't do the last race with Alpine, and it will be Jack Doohan going into his seat. I would chase that up.
I saw that on Twitter, actually,
yeah,
but I didn't want to say it until
we've had it
because
reported.
of the drama.
Catch up with the YouTube chat then. Owen's been saying, an independent body I vote for. They can set up their own FIA that understand it more. And now, how do I say goodbye by Dean Lewis for the race director? I'd rather see a board of people become director rather than just one person, maybe like 3 significant people, 1 head of safety, 1 head of entertainment, and additional oversight. He also says, would allow each person to argue their case quickly and make decisions. There's an option there to go into it. Paul says it became money in charge, not wisdom. And Owen then saying teams need to have less influence over the FIA and race director, in my opinion. I agree with you there. Lando, as much as I love him, is too soft. He needs to stand up for himself more like Max or George. All lacks of championship winning is tougher mentality. And Andrea Stella, a great person. He's so well spoken and calculated as well. Jess, you're typing. I just want to say a quick point as we're now getting ready for here. How does McLaren bounce back from this? They knew it probably wouldn't happen tonight, but they were in a position to race for the victory, and they've sort of had it taken away. And we heard from them there. even they don't agree with the penalties, and it's a system that we're all now feeling. It's united Formula One. The FIA are losing control here massively.
I think I've already made my thoughts known about the FIA, to be honest. So yeah, don't want to say anything more about that subject, to be honest.
What do you think of McLaren then? Are they will they bounce back? Will they have comments on this? And can they win it in Abu Dhabi as well? They're now only 14 or 12 something. There's very little gap between them now.
We know Charles Leclerc comes alive in Abu Dhabi, so I think it's probably going to be closer than we think. I would say McLaren's got a decent gap anyway, so it would take McLaren to have a really bad Abu Dhabi in order for them to lose it.
Red Bull are still in it.
What?
Red Bull are still in it. 38-point the gap, so it is a three-way fight.
Well, someone tweeted it wrong then.
Yeah, I think they've not accounted for the penalties post-race. That bumped a few people around.
So, fair days.
Just inside it. Right, final thoughts then. Starting with you, Omi, if you're still there in the pit lane. Final thoughts from Qatar, please.
Well, an amazing weekend of racing at times, but it's not gonna. Well, it's gonna be a weekend that I don't really want to remember too much for quite obvious reasons. Looking ahead to Abu Dhabi, really excited for the F2 title fight. Great to see F1 Academy as well come to a close, and hopefully as well a good F1 round.
Thanks, Omi. Just hearing some information.
Okay, we want to go back to Sky, Josh?
Let's hear from Carlos Sainz quick.
Race out there today, but ultimately you gained some valuable points on McLaren, so happy that you, as you always do, you stuck with it and fought for everything.
Yeah, but I think today we lost more than we gained. You know, as an opportunity, obviously we were running in a good position behind Charles, and we had a puncture right as I was coming around the last corner. Didn't have time to come in the pits, and I had to do a full lap on a punctured tire. That made me lose a lot of time. On top of that, the safety car came out when I came out of the pits rather than while I was punctured. So yeah, a very unlucky situation there that cost us a lot of race time, a lot of obviously points, and yeah, a bit of a shame because we could have got a lot more points today, but sometimes racing is like that.
You and Lewis both got punctures there. People were surprised there wasn't a virtual safety car or a safety car to clear that debris. It's a new race director. I mean, I don't know if we want to pin the blame on him, but were you as drivers thinking that?
No, the race was running smoothly up until then, and you never expect this kind of thing to happen. I didn't expect it at all to happen, but for some reason, yeah, I got a sudden puncture, and with the very unlucky situation that I had to do a full lap with a puncture.
Thank you.
Ciao, Carlos.
Ciao.
Yeah, so Carlos Sainz, a victim of that debris. It was also towards the end of a long stint on those tyres, so that can't have helped either. Also, Lewis Hamilton having a few issues with that. He picked up a puncture, but as I mentioned, we'll come on to that. Yeah, I mean, that's...
Okay, I thought we were going to hear as well from Charles Leclerc there. We haven't. We'll continue with our closing points then. Jess, over to you. If I have not said to you, closing points, please.
You did ask, Jess.
Did I?
You asked about the McLaren and FIA, but I could say about next week. Should be really exciting in terms of the constructors' fight with 3 teams in it. F2 title fight, I'm really excited about that. That's probably going to be the closest fight. Could go either way between Isaac Hadjar and Bortoleto. Personally, I want to go to Bortoleto because that will mean for the first time in like 2 years an F2 champion will go straight to Formula 1. But I think the F2 is what I'm excited the most, really. But the F1 constructors fight is going to be exciting. And we've got the closing race in F1 Academy. Should be a good week. A busy weekend, though. Should be fantastic.
Thanks, Jess. Ed?
Well, to the FIA today, I think one mistake could have been forgivable, but I think there were about 3, 4 or 5 in total, if I'm being completely honest. I think the main bright spot, as I keep saying, was Guyan Zhou, that we see Zhou just being congratulated by the Sky team at the moment. But yeah, I'm very excited about Formula E starting again in Sao Paulo. We talked about F2s, then Maloney missing it to start his F2 Formula E career with Lola, which is going to be exciting, and also Pascal Wehrlein trying to defend his title And Jaguars, how are Jaguar going to mess it up this time is always going to be a fun thread, at least. They still haven't revealed their livery yet, but I guess we'll see that when they rock up in Sao Paulo in Brazil, I guess, but at the Sambadrome. But yeah, for F1, I think Abu Dhabi is, well, just getting to the end of the season, I think it's pretty inevitable that McLaren are going to seal it, given the 21-point gap they have going in. If Ferrari steal from them, it'll probably be one of the biggest upsets in terms of Constructors' Championships of all time. It's amazing that it's still open, considering how dominant the Verstappen was in the drivers, but it shows the crazy season we've had, I guess. And it's all coming to a close in December, as it tends to do in Formula One these days.
Yeah, gone are the days of being done in October and having a couple of months off. So, Formula E kicks off next week as well, their 11th season. Ben Edwards in the commentary box for that one as well. Myself and Ed will be taking through all the watch-along action here as well. And Jess has got Formula One Academy, and me and Omi have got Formula 2 as well, and then we'll all be with you for Formula 1. Well, my thanks to you, Ed, my thanks to Jess, my thanks to Omi, my thanks to Megan as well, my thanks to Wes and Synthel as well for their company this weekend, and also to JT, who was with us yesterday. He's missed one today, hasn't he, as well? We'll get his thoughts in the special shows coming up for Abu Dhabi. To round out the year, we'll have a special F1 show after second practice on Friday as well. So, what a day. Whether good or bad, FIA implosions, drama on track and off, controversy breeding controversy. Let's end it on a positive. Max Verstappen has won a thrilling race from his perspective, and Sauber finally get points, and so does Zhou Guanyu. That's a good news story. It's the only one we can find. Qatar is memorable once again, but for all the wrong reasons. We'll see you next time when the season rounds out in Abu Dhabi. Bye-bye.